on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
On the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that heat in the street, and we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what
All
you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin J, got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. coming, man. Try run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as they head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound, check it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right out the sea, how could they be? Give me a couple of rounds, cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now, mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Hello. Welcome everybody to episode 229 of the Vitamin G podcast. It is your host Pharaoh, and currently I am solo. I don't know what's up with these guys, man. They always leave me out to dry. I know the chat's probably a little light right now. Especially considering that we missed last week, but good to see everyone. Can't wait for my guys to show up. Lately, it's been all Rebirth for me. Like, I've just been gearing up for that. They've given me a bit of a panic attack as far as the game coming out, because I ordered the collector's edition, and if you guys watched the last episode, I got a message during the show that I was actually gonna get my collector's edition that week, which was like 2 weeks ago. So I was gonna get it like a week and a half early, basically. I think on the 16th, so almost a full 2 weeks early, I was supposed to get it. But it never came. So then, from the time that it never came, I was sitting there like, all right, so I'm not worried about it till the 29th. Well, a week and some change went by, and UPS never got my. Even though they said they had my package, it changed from them having my package to them not having my package. So I'm like, kind of like semi-panicking for like a whole week, like, where the hell is my package? And, then next thing you know, Jube's like, UPS has my package, and then they still don't have my package. So that makes me feel even worse. Well, I think like last night, around like 10 o'clock, got a notification on my phone like, oh, we got your package. So, which made me feel good. But at the same time, they definitely lost my package, because my package is not going to show up on time. It's going to show up a couple days late. Which is disappointing. Very disappointing. But doesn't really impact me, because I bought the digital version also, so I'm not waiting for the physical copy. Pretty much just got the collector's edition for the statue, and I'll save the the disc and everything. Won't even open the box, most likely. Because with the digital deluxe, you get the soundtrack and all that on the PlayStation, and I'm sure it'll come to the streaming services at some point, like Remake Soundtrack did. That's it. Other than that, I've been getting back into Madden. That's like been like the game that kind of like holds me over until the new games come out. I beat Remake, I beat Integrate, and I kind of rushed through beating them because I thought I was getting the game that Friday, but I didn't. So I just spent this past week just playing Madden, a couple other multi-plat games and things like that. Oh, Omar.
What's up, Pedro?
Yeah, how you been? How you been? How you been? Nothing much.
I just got the platinum for Helldivers.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you posted in the chat. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna I'm still very happy with this one. Yeah. When I first woke up today, I
One second.
think I'm gonna get some flat. I hate up a few people and I'm happy someone else to get here.
All right, all right.
So what I've been playing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he is muted. I forgot to unmute him because I was solo dolo for a minute.
Who did you?
Yeah.
Wait.
Thank you for that, Stanley.
Am I on mute?
Yeah, you were muted. You can kind of run through.
Okay.
So he got the platinum in Helldivers. That's where he's gonna start from. So tell him about your platinum in Helldivers.
So yeah, Helldiver Platinum. Super happy. Talked about it. Right now I'm helping my friend getting his. Other than that, I played the demo for Unicorn Overload, another game I'm super excited about. I enjoyed the demo. That's either a day one buy or down the road, depends on when it comes out, what period, because this year it's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Other game I played, the demo for Immortal of Avium.
Yeah.
Aside from this game being, what do you call it? It didn't launch. It launched at the wrong period of time. I don't see why it wouldn't do well. Cause story is interesting, gameplay is fun, and the visuals are all there. So it's very difficult to understand why this game flopped. The only reason I can think of is EA launched it. EA did the same mistake they did with Titanfall. Multi-Titanfall.
I would
They
say it's a
launched it.
combination of timing, marketing,
It
and we are in a recession, and it is a new IP. So
No, because do you know what Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo did? Because it's almost the same. Just Ghostwire Tokyo is a little bit on a scary side. That's it. They play almost the same in a way.
Yeah, but I feel like Tokyo Ghostwire had a bit more of a marketing push than
it was
than Immortals Avium did, because they were exclusive to PlayStation at the time.
PlayStation, yeah.
So they got a state of play They got that state of play presence that most others.
So it makes you question what's the point of releasing your game and killing your studio if you're not gonna invest in marketing.
Well, I don't even remember that game appearing on the summer show stage. I'm gonna stop saying E3 because E3 is essentially dead. But I don't remember Immortals AVM showing up on the summer show stage. Do you guys remember it? It wasn't a game.
I don't remember where I've seen, but I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think it missed being on a big stage, and I think that kind of hurt it. And you gotta think about what came out, what it came out against. It came out against Helldivers 2.
No. Immortals of AVM didn't come out at the end of Helldivers 2.
I'm not saying they came out the same week, but I'm saying they had the same. They're releasing in the same. They're releasing within a couple days of each other. So
no, Immortals of AVM has been long out.
When did it come out?
Can you look it up? Because right now I'm playing.
Let's see. Immortals AVM. I could
You
have
said
swore
Immortals
recently
Avium?
came out.
Yeah, Immortals of Avium. That came out on Steam, Deluxe Edition 2023.
Yeah,
it's been.
This game didn't come out with Helldivers whatsoever. I was confused.
This was late 2023. This was that Magic game that people said that it was that Magic game with the incredible particle effects that were like crazy, but the gameplay was pretty generic.
Okay.
I mean,
So what released in August? Because I don't, like I said, it's a game I don't really remember. I don't remember seeing
August
it on the summer
22nd.
stage. I thought it came out recently.
I remember seeing. No, this game came out August 22, 2023, and pretty much
what came out in August and September?
Let's see.
So that's right around Spider-Man time. That's right around Starfield time. Yeah, that's right around then. So it came out around a bunch of big games.
Yeah. This is what I think.
So that's what I said. I think it's a combination. I know it came out around big games.
All right, so Sea of Stars, Atlas Fall.
Oh yeah, that's a big.
Goodbye Volcano High, Immortals of Avium, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, WrestleQuest, Bomber Cyberpunk. That was actually a good one.
People underestimate that Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It did decently well. Not saying it sold millions, but it was a good game and it did decently well.
I think Sea of Stars sold 2 million, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Sea of Stars did pretty good. I'm saying
Shadow Gambit. We got
Starfield. Starfield came out that September, and you had early access, I think, on the 29th.
Something like that. Let's check out September's list. Starfield was NBA 2K24.
Yeah.
Super Bomberman
Madden
R2
comes out in August usually.
F-Zero, Mortal Kombat 1, Payday 3, which
it came out around a bunch.
Phantom Liberty
came out around a bunch of big games. So that's
Harvest Moon,
and it's a new IP. So new IP coming out around a bunch of big games. It never.
And
if you were going to release a game, I think I would say generally next month, but next month you got a couple of big games coming out.
Oh, no, Dragon Dogmas 2. If you're an RPG person, do not release. If you're an RPG person, don't release your game in March.
You got MLB The Show, you got Dragon Dogma 2, and you got Rise of the Ronin coming out in September. April is probably your best bet to release a new IP.
Rise of Ronin.
April, May is probably the best time to release a new IP. In today's age. April, May, and July are usually the 3 best months to release new IPs, in my opinion. Because.
But yeah, so I really wish this game did well because the concept is interesting and the story and the voice acting is fantastic. But yeah, oh shit, I'm about to die. Other than that, I think that's about it. Lots of demos I watched and also got the plat in Helldivers 2, but that's about it for me.
Okay. And Nappy, what have you been up to?
I've been doing good. I've been really busy catching up on controller reviews. I got another controller sent to me to review, which was by the company 8-Bit Dough. So this is the hold on. God dang, it's blue. This is the Genshin Impact version of the 8-Bit Dough Ultimate controller for PC and Android. So it comes with a charging dock.
A Switch Pro controller a little bit.
The Switch version.
No, I'm saying it looks like it, like like just how the controller looks. I know it has Xbox button layout, but it kind of looks like the
So it's basically for PC and Android. Comes with a cool little charging dock, 2 buttons on the back, programming. Can hold 3 different profiles. It's a decent controller. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's good for like a casual player. And also if you really love no Hall Effect joysticks. Actually, Hall Effect joysticks. We're starting to learn more about them. Not all Hall Effect joysticks are made the same.
Yeah,
some of them
like for all things ain't created equal.
Yeah, so like for my Fly Ditchy Vader 3 controller, like I haven't experienced this issue, but some people have experienced the issue where their stick just snaps and there's just like no tension on the actual module. So now the stick won't snap back to the center anymore. So it's so it's kind of interesting. I'm catching up on controller reviews. Also, I learned that even though that this was an overclockable controller, I don't think this controller was meant to be overclocked, because when people were using the PC version overclocking it, it actually bricked this controller and you couldn't save it. So I got to talk about that in the video. So I'm learning quite a bit. And got another couple of controllers coming out. Vitrix is coming out with the another Xbox controller that's actually going to be wireless, very similar to the Vitrix BFG for the PlayStation 5 and PC. They just made an Xbox version of it, and I just want to get it just because it's the same controller just for Xbox. So that means that now Xbox has even more licensed controller, one more licensed controller for Xbox as far as a wireless controller with programmable buttons. Microsoft has definitely stepped up their game with the third-party controllers, and I could see PlayStation somewhat doing it, but not at the extent of Microsoft. But with that being said, as far as the games being played, as you guys, I still play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I love it. It is fun. But that's like my JRPG right now. Also, I've been playing a lot of Helldivers 2. I'm fighting for that Manch Democracy.
Let's go.
So all about Manch Democracy. I'm
What's
loving
your favorite weapon?
So what was my favorite weapon? It was can't remember. I think the gun was like the Devastator was a shotgun. So basically, because me and my friends, like we're PC people, and only 2 of us have played Helldivers 1. My other 2 friends didn't even know Helldivers exist.
Me neither.
And I like the fact when I picked up Helldivers 2 that it kept everything from Helldivers 1 except for maybe some of the Konami codes for some of the modules, and just made it into a third-person shooter. And it's basically, I was surprised at how well they did it. Like, it feels just like Helldivers 1, but better.
Oh,
just
okay.
in the third-person mode.
I never played 1, so...
Yeah, so 1 was a top-down shooter, and besides the whole thing, I got to warn everyone about, like, don't be reloading willy-nilly, because if you reload, you're going to lose your bullets. Like, the diving mechanism. Believe it or not, Helldivers 1 had the diving mechanism, where it was like, it was good for top down, but I was surprised how well they implemented it for third person shooting. Also, like the fact,
go ahead.
Also, like the fact that they have a first person shooter mode where you actually aim down sights. You can go into first person, which is great.
Yeah.
The so-called battle pass. So the thing about Helldivers 1 had battle packs that were like dirt cheap. They were like $2 to $3. You could buy like a sniper's pack, or you could buy a heavy weapons pack. You could buy the mech suit packs at the very end of Helldivers 1 when they were like making DLC for that game. I don't really call this a battle pass because
it's not. You don't need it.
Like you don't. Yeah, you don't.
It's not even in there.
It's in the regular pass. It's actually they gotta do some weapon balancing, because that one shotgun after page 4 or page 3.
The breaker.
It's the best gun that everyone's been using. Even the incinerator version of the breaker is slightly weaker than the original breaker. but it does
which
fire
is
proc, which is
wild.
good against the insect.
Which
mean,
is
I think-
wild because that one is in the pay edition. That's the crazy part. You would expect
yeah.
it the other way around, don't you?
I mean, it is a little crazy. I'm not too upset with paying for the pay one though, because one, it's like it's only 3 pages compared to the base game's tree skill tree with the medals that's like 12 pages long.
Mhm.
And also, I do know that they have a lot more weapons and stuff that they need to bring to Helldivers 2 from Helldivers 1. I already know they're not bringing the mech suits day one. I really was hoping they would bring the mech suits, but that will make the game. That'll put the game on ease mode. So they're not. I don't think they're going to do that.
Apparently, they bring the max suit. They did confirm that.
Well, it ain't gonna be anytime soon.
I saw an alert that the mechs are coming.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, because if they brought the mech suits, it's going to be easy mode.
And
also, apparently, we're getting new enemies, and also we're getting vehicles.
That the vehicles is that would be cool to be able to summon tanks, because we could do that Helldivers 1. Also, the one thing that's like new to Helldivers in general that wasn't in 1 is melee weapons. And I was like, now that they're talking about melee weapons, I was like, ooh, this is
That's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna implement that.
Yeah, because that's a brand new concept that I'm looking at. I'm trying to see like how Helldivers 1 is going to offer melee weapons. I'm not going to be finding those damn automotive drones with melee weapons.
Yeah,
let you go up to a clock or a tank, man. You get blown to pieces.
How are you going to fight a Biofighter with a melee weapon? It's absolutely impossible.
No, it'll probably be possible, man. You're not fighting for management democracy, man. It's all about management democracy.
I'm using my railgun for the Bile Titan.
Oh.
Also, do you know that you can unlock the save where you can almost kill yourself, but also deal immense amount of damage to enemies with the railgun.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's if you unlock the railgun and charge it all the way up past the save point, it will explode in your face and kill you.
This is the best sub weapon in the game, in my opinion, because of the amount. I have seen literally people one shot Bile Titan with a railgun. That's how crazy it is.
If you aim directly at the weak points, yes, you can do that.
It's a head.
That was like one of the guns. The railgun was powerful back in Helldivers 1. And so, yes, the fact that it's powerful here in 2 doesn't surprise me. It was one of the more powerful guns in 1. I'm actually curious because I actually went back to Helldivers 1 a little bit just to play, and I'm surprised those servers are still up and running. So, like, if you're not playing Helldivers 2 and you have friends over and y'all want to still fight for managed democracy, that's actually a really good local co-op top-down shooter. I don't know why. I'm learning that a lot of people are turned off by top-down shooters. I don't, but I'm telling you, give it a chance. It's really fun. Let's play with friends on the same screen.
I think it just depends on the game, because I think people were actually kind of. I know a lot of people were excited for the Ascent. That was kind of a top-down shooter.
Yeah, maybe it's because of presentation or something.
Yeah, I think it's just because it just comes down to, does it capture an audience? I think people will play anything if it looks appealing, but I think people more lean towards third and first person more than anything else. Like, I know we've had a string of people complaining about first person lately, but all the top selling games are typically like first person shooters. So
yeah, I mean, that's a casual audience for you. Also when Helldivers 1 came out on PC at first, that's when Overwatch was king. Overwatch came out and it took the gaming industry by storm. Biggest fumble I've ever seen for a gaming industry ever. I don't know how big that one.
Come on, Overwatch.
It was 2015, 2016. That's because when Helldivers came out, Overwatch came out.
Yeah.
So who fumbled what? What was the fumble?
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 is going to come back with a vengeance.
We talked about it. Yeah, 2 was terrible. Oh.
Why?
Yeah, that was a fumble. So that
game went dark.
What do you say?
That game has gone dark. No one's like, I have
over management.
So
that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna. I think it's gonna come back with a vengeance when it hits Game Pass. Like, it'll probably hit Game Pass along with some type of update. And
yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if they'll make it right with you guys, because I know they promised you some things.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Well, they're gone now, so it's like
maybe
they're gone.
Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. I know they promised y'all some things. Hopefully, y'all get it now that
that was Activision before Microsoft.
What y'all want, and Overwatch can return to its glory for
with
you guys.
How they did Toys for Bob, I don't think so.
They didn't do anything to Toys for Bob.
No.
They
laid off 70% of it. They're not working now.
It wasn't 70%. They did lay off some people across their studios, and Toys for Bob was some of them, but they just transitioned to working from home. They just closed the office more than anything, but there's still a sizable development team there.
Yeah, but back to
we're gonna get a new Crash or not.
Well, you weren't going to get a new Crash regardless if Microsoft didn't buy them, because Toys for Bob was just doing Call of Duty.
Well, back to Helldivers. Helldivers 2, if they increase the servers, I love the management. Join the Discord if you want to catch updates on what's going on with the game. The developers are extremely happy. They are struggling with success right now, so they're trying to increase the server capacity. And they have been very open that it's not just as simple as just renting servers. And they actually have.
So what's the issue?
Well, it's more so of not only they build the cap 1 to keep the server stable, because one of the general rules in the IT world is when it comes to memory, you only want to stay up to 80%, because after 80%, that's when you're going to start experiencing hiccups and issues. And it's just. They weren't expecting the game to be this big as it was, because a lot of people looked at Helldivers 2. I mean, some of you guys looked at Helldivers 2 as like, man. Yeah, and now everyone's like, oh my God, I love Helldivers 2.
It's a real tough space because, in their situation, they didn't expect the game to be this successful. So they have the opportunity to rent more servers or purchase one up and running. What does the player base look like? So you got to kind of balance that out. Like, you can't just be. And you have to hire people to get those servers up and running and get everything running smooth.
You can't just open up servers and console just connect willy-nilly. It's not like going to Apex host and then renting servers.
Yeah.
If you
are successful, by the time you get the servers and you're locked into a 6 or 12-month deal with, Amazon or Azure or Google Cloud, if you kind of lose that base in the time that, you don't need the server space. You don't need the capacity anymore. It's like this,
I mean, hey, Double A Studios, because
games aren't $70 fucking.
Well, that, and also they aren't afraid of creativities and making stupid ideas that are honestly fun to implement.
I don't think. Do you think Helldivers is really that creative? I mean, or do you think it's the same game, just kind of given in like I mean, they've made upgrades, of course. But it's a sequel given it a different perspective, more so than
it is. I say that Helldivers 2 is definitely it's a great sequel to Helldivers 1.
Yeah,
like it literally has everything from Helldivers 1.
I'm not arguing that whether or not is it a great sequel. I'm saying, is it creative? Is it any more creative than the original Helldivers, or is it just different camera angle allows you to experience the game in a different way?
I will. Okay, as far as creativity, so the bugs were the common ones. That was in Helldivers 1. That was the most of what we fought. The robots, that is completely new. That is a completely new faction. So but
new enemy types is not necessarily creativity.
It's not new. It's kind of in a way it is, but it's like we didn't have this faction at Helldivers 1. I was just shooting bugs all day in Helldivers 1.
But I'm just saying, so the fact that we got as a AA game, Helldivers isn't necessarily the most creative, is what I'm saying. It's still a great game. You could be a great game without being super creative. It is a fresh take on that type of game. Like we can't really get Helldivers 2 anywhere else, but it's not overly creative at the same time.
It is creative.
No, it's just a fun. It's just like a fun game.
Creative. Like you could be a great game and not be super creative.
What I want to know is how has it moved third-person shooter genre forward? It hasn't. It's literally retreads of stuff we've already seen. Like that doesn't make it any less fun. But like to Pharaoh's point, like it's not really this super creative thing. Like
it's a great game.
They pay homage to a lot of their interests in things. Like you throwing a grenade into a hole is very reminiscent of you throwing a grenade into a hole in Gears of War. Like it's same shit.
You could throw a grenade in a hole in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's a great game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's creative. Like I think when we see things that are creative, like let's give that credit. But I think Helldivers is a great game. They found a way to capture a larger audience by changing from top down to third person. And
they captured it with one word: freedom.
And I think the most beautiful thing about Helldivers is that I feel like we've been missing that third person shooter that's a multiplayer. That big
that's a co-op.
Well, yeah, that's not like the only thing I don't like about Helldivers 2 is that it is an online service game, and Helldivers 1 I was able to play offline.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably that's my only.
Offline. It's tedious.
I'm not doing this whole crazy modding and all this other stuff.
It's not mod. It's normal. It's tedious. It's super tedious. It's just a lot of enemies. You need to find a way to survive. That's it. My friend did it.
I mean, that's easy. I can survive in Helldivers. Heck, I did it in 1 all the time. I could do it in 2. Just don't shoot everything. So, but also the biggest thing is also we've been playing the hardest missions that currently is I know that's been nerfed twice and still OT. It was an impossible difficulty evacuation with against the Automer faction. That is literally the hardest mission in the game right now. They nerfed it twice and it's still very difficult. You need to have a specific amount of gear, a lot of EMP bombs, EMP artillery, and that's just to hold the enemies back because it's a non-stop wave of enemies. Once they start coming, they're not stopping. And you still have to evacuate everyone.
Right? Automatons? Yeah, yep. Automatons. The issue is we still don't have a good weapon for automatons. For the buff, we have the breaker. For the automatons, we could use the scorcher, but most people don't have the scorcher. That's literally the level that the final level, the final page in the normal battle pass.
Well, I mean, technically you're not supposed to fight the automatons on like impossible difficulty this early on. The developers said it themselves, like they were expecting for people to go to the impossible rank and attempting to fight automatons, especially on the evacuation mission where basically they flattened the whole map. So there's no cover.
To be that popular.
Yeah, and because they nerfed that mission twice, it is still the hardest mission in the game, and we were so close from being that mission.
I think they
fucking close. I think
they anticipated the PlayStation audience, but I don't think they anticipated the PC audience being as big as what it was.
I don't know. Actually, most of the players are on PC though.
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't think they anticipated the PC audience being as big as it was.
Neither the PlayStation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm
sorry. Because it's 60-40% sales wise.
Yeah, I don't think it was 40% PlayStation. That I haven't heard that. I heard it was like 20 last time. It was like 20 to 30% from place. Oh, the sale. Oh, you're talking about the sales.
Yeah, I don't know the sales split between the platforms.
PlayStation.
I know that it's a lot more players on Steam than there are on PlayStation. So there's probably more sales on Steam than on PlayStation.
Yeah, I think it's because we also can just, as we're waiting to get into the servers at the beginning, we just will play something else. Like I was playing Helldivers 1, waiting to get into Helldivers 2 servers.
You're fucking lucky with that one. I've seen people wait an hour just to join in. But they did implement something very genius, which is 15-minute timeout. Basically, if you're AFK for 15 minutes, on your ship, you get kicked out
that's
automatically.
For most multiplayers, they don't allow you to just take up a server spot that long.
The Helldivers 2, which
I think probably like 600,000 is probably the sweet spot.
600,000. They opened up to 8. They are currently at 800,000. No, they said
they were at 450 last I checked.
Yeah, they're talking about they're going to go up to 800,000 server capacity. That's what
good.
they're aiming for. I mean, because they had
I
a lot more
think
Helldivers.
I think the average max capacity will be, if the game stays popular, I think the max capacity will be about 650 on average. That's what I said.
And so that means
good.
you want to go with that 800,000 because you want that wiggle room.
Yeah.
So that way things can run smoothly.
Yeah. So
but yeah, anyway, like I said, Helldivers 2, man, it's a great game. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is still a fun game. They're actually planning on doing some updates to add more missions because I unlocked all the crew members, so I have every single character, but I have pretty much my main rosters that I'm trying to build up and level up. So yeah, this is the year so far. AA gaming has been killing it in 2024.
Well, AA and AAA's been doing good. I think Tekken has a
Suicide Squad sucked.
Tekken had a 91 meta. I mean, you could find a AA game that sucked. Can find.
I mean,
one.
well, play.
Yeah, Tekken.
It is technically AAA. Yeah, Tekken.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is one of our topics that has a 93 meta.
I can't touch it.
You'll be able to play it. You'll be able to play it in June.
In 2025.
No, it only has a 3-month exclusivity window.
Oh, what? Okay, so before, you know what? What happened to the 6-month exclusivity window for Final Fantasy 16?
It didn't meet sales expectations, so they probably got lower, resources allocated to the PC port.
It's supposed to have been out by now. It was supposed to be out by December last year. I didn't see anything about it.
They probably have less resources committed to the PC port because it didn't sell gangbusters on PlayStation. Like it hit its target, but it didn't exceed it.
What did J. Cole said? Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace signs.
Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake came to PC pretty fast after that exclusivity period was over. Like it launched on Epic instant.
I want to say instant. It was like a year.
Yeah, not a year after the exclusivity period though. A couple months after the exclusivity period.
I'm gonna say I would say it was a couple months after they released that DLC, and then they bundled it together and released
it. Which was PC, a year later. Yeah, because it wasn't that long. But yeah, Jube, let's get to your intro. How you been? What you been playing?
What's up? I've bbeen playing Helldivers. About it.
Yeah, I think everyone's on Helldivers with me. I just been on Steam and get my ass kicked.
It's cross-platform. You don't need it.
It is. I do find trying to join other people's parties though doesn't really work.
Yeah, I've kind of stayed away from it. Just wait for it to blow off. Yeah, I might have to dive in that with you guys. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Right. Jube with the
waiting for UPS to come through.
He is bringing balance to the force with his short intro.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is gonna be the crew for today. Unless Zero and Kofi pop in, which at this point I doubt will happen. So we could dive into our first topic. So we've been gone. So we've gone for about roughly 2 weeks due to President's Day, and in that time we've had a lot of news in regards to Xbox and PlayStation when it comes to their multi-platform ambitions. We had rumors from Xbox for a while that they were going full third party. People were panicking. There was all types of panic in the streets, and they had to have a business event detailing what their plans were. And they said they were dropping 4 games. And I think it was last week we had a Nintendo Direct, and those 4 games were subsequently announced. And it was Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. But that wasn't the only announcement that we had, because Sony recently had their earnings report, in which the pending CEO of PlayStation, current CFO of Sony, made it known that PlayStation is also going to be going in a multi-platform direction, being a little bit more aggressive with porting their games to other platforms down the road. And yeah, so it looks like both platforms are increasing their multi-platform goals. So with that being said, we'll dive into that, touch on Xbox and PlayStation doing that for a little bit. But right before the show, we got into a little bit of a discussion regarding this topic and whether or not exclusives are actually beneficial to the consumer. I said they're beneficial to the platform themselves, but not necessarily beneficial to the consumer because it requires the consumer to purchase more hardware to experience certain things. The same way with the entertainment that you watch. You got to have Crunchyroll, you got to have Netflix, you got to have Hulu, you got to have Disney Plus just to watch the shows that you want to watch. Versus if they were all centralized on Netflix, even if Netflix were $45 a month, you would probably save money. When you factor in, like, I think Hulu without ads is $24 a month now. Netflix is $24 a month.
I was paying $130 a month in subscription fees.
Yeah. So
I want to go down my list of Amazon, Rooster Teeth, Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I have Prime Video.
Netflix,
I got all that shit
Hulu.
Too, so.
I looked at it and I had to narrow it down, and I canceled a lot of services I don't use.
Yeah, I'm about in that boat too. So, but I was saying that, you know, when it comes to exclusive content in general, not just in video games, that exclusivity only benefits the platform. It doesn't necessarily benefit the consumer. And I guess they wanted to bring this to you guys to kind of hear the chat's thoughts on it and kind of bounce it off around people on the panel. So I'm gonna let Omar kick it off since he's the one that was on the side of exclusives being beneficial to the actual consumer.
So simple.
Simple.
It's super simple.
Okay.
Without exclusivity, I don't have content.
Why wouldn't you have content? Does Sega not provide you with content? Does Take-Two not provide you with content?
Because Horizon Zero Dawn wouldn't exist. Returnal wouldn't exist. God of War wouldn't exist.
Who's to say they wouldn't exist without exclusivity?
A lot of games wouldn't have exist if not for exclusivity deals. Ori wouldn't have exist.
Exclusivity, that's not an exclusivity deal.
It is.
God of War wasn't an exclusivity deal.
It's a fair party deal.
What proof do you have that
it's not a deal? It's not a deal. It already existed. It was their IP, bro.
Yeah, it was their IP. They just decided to make a game. They didn't make a deal with a third party or a third party vendor to make the game.
Then go to Ori.
Is there definitive proof that Ori would not exist without
Moon
Studios? Like what can you? You can say I believe that Ori would not exist without a third party exclusivity deal, but do you have any concrete evidence that Ori would not exist?
It's not on PlayStation.
It's on Nintendo and it's on Xbox. Yeah, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't exist without an exclusivity deal.
Heck, even what's that game that they invested their house in it? Cuphead. Wouldn't have existed if not for Microsoft.
Oh, it would have existed because the reason that they mortgaged their house and all that, and they had to provide a proof of concept in order for Microsoft to purchase the game. Would have still existed.
They made the game on the line for that game.
Yeah, they made the game.
All of it. That was a scary investment.
Yeah, they actually paid off very well. Game, and then Xbox had to see the game that they made and say, "Hey, we want to make it exclusive." The game would have existed no matter what.
And Cuphead's already on Nintendo Switch, and they want to spread it around. They're trying to make a mobile version of it.
Yeah. Cuphead is fully.
I'm talking about when you have a concept and you don't have someone to publish it for you, you're fucked as a developer.
But every publishing deal does not garner exclusivity.
It is.
No, it's not. Is Sekiro exclusive? Activision didn't make Sekiro.
Activision published it.
Yes, but they didn't. But it's everywhere. It's not exclusive. I mean, there are plenty of games that are published.
No. You're comparing. You need to focus on exclusive, publishers that are exclusive, like PlayStation, Nintendo, and Microsoft. These are the ones that decide if they release their stuff elsewhere.
Yeah, there's three platform holders who benefit from exclusivity. There's only three companies that benefit from exclusivity.
And me, the consumer.
The consumer does not benefit.
Absolutely, because I'm the one playing them.
Yeah, but you're playing them, but that doesn't mean you benefit from it being exclusive. You benefit from being able to play it.
I am benefiting from them existing in the first place.
Yeah, you benefit from you benefit from the content. You don't benefit from exclusivity. That's what I'm saying.
No, but they wouldn't exist if not from the publisher.
You have no evidence of it not being.
We have companies.
You have no evidence that the game would not exist without exclusivity.
Look at Death Stranding. Death Stranding wouldn't have existed if not from PlayStation.
That is not true, because anybody would have gave Hideo Kojima funding.
Man, if you give Kojima funding on any platform, he was going to make that game.
If he would have went to Activision or Square, or if he would have went to anyone for funding, they would have funded his game.
We also know that the game that Microsoft is now getting, the one from Kojima, wouldn't exist without Microsoft, because PlayStation didn't want to invest into it.
You're saying that he wouldn't be able to find funding without Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo with the previous success that he's had is semi-outrageous.
We've seen PlayStation rejected it.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't be able to find someone else to fund. Like, you're talking about being able to generate funding for a game. Like, there's other ways to generate funding beyond making.
Like, you could take out his stats. He could easily took out a loan from a bank.
Yeah, it's just, like.
He literally got an entire engine for PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm just interested because you haven't even mentioned a title that was specifically made to combat other titles on different platforms. Like, you didn't mention Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, or the recent game that phone party game that was supposed to combat
Splatoon.
Platoon. And you didn't mention any of those games at all with your argument. Those are games that were made exclusively to combat the other exclusivities,
and they usually flop.
You didn't, or what was it? Goddamn, all these damn Smash clones, man, they're all blending together.
They all flop. Every time they try to combat someone else's exclusive, it usually flops.
But yeah, I get what you were trying to say. Like, yeah, it's cool to have exclusives sometimes, and there could be some benefits, but you did not name a game that was like made specifically to be exclusive just to combat someone else, to combat the other consoles game that is like that. Like, you didn't. What was that one game? It was called like Haze or something. That was on the PlayStation 3 that was supposed to combat Halo, and it failed.
No, that was Killzone.
Killzone
was supposed to be the Halo killer.
Yeah, like you gotta I'll give you guys Bloodborne. I will say Bloodborne wouldn't exist without Sony. I'll give you that one because they did go to From Software and was like, we want a Souls-like games exclusively for PlayStation. Y'all got Bloodborne, so I will give you Bloodborne. That wouldn't have existed if Sony didn't do anything.
Yes.
But yeah, you didn't name, but you haven't been naming any titles that were made to be exclusive.
Well, it's not a matter of them being made to be exclusive. It's that the game wouldn't exist at all without exclusivity, and I don't think we have any proof that a game would not exist without exclusivity.
Bloodborne is one.
Another one.
PlayStation could have still said make us Bloodborne, but it could have been multi-platform. At the time,
Bloodborne wouldn't have existed. Bloodborne wouldn't have existed if they didn't come to Front Software.
It's a second party. It's a second party deal. So yeah, you come to people for them to make you games, but you don't necessarily come to them now they
Stellar
for them to be
wouldn't
exclusive.
Stellar Blade wouldn't have existed without PlayStation.
It did exist. It was Project Eve, and it was
Yeah, and what happened to Project Eve? Do you know?
Sony came to them and said we want it for ourselves.
No,
And
no. The company literally went under, and PlayStation invested in them and
let's
revived
see.
it, and then it became Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade Studio.
Without PlayStation, the game wouldn't have existed.
Stellar Blade. Let's see.
Look it up.
What's the studio? The studio is I don't see it. Shift Up.
By Shift Up is the name of the company. So the company is called Shift Up. Is going to be published by Sony. So it looks like the game runs on Unreal Engine 4. Let's look up Shift Up Second Eve Studio. So that can be a quick Google search. Let's see what happened with the studio. Shift Up Corporation is South Korea game developers and published based on Seoul. It was founded in December 2013 by artist Kim Hong Tai to develop mobile games. So yeah, this makes sense because the art style is definitely screaming mobile. But so says Shift Up with a secondary called Second Eve, whose purpose is to develop a PC AAA game. And this first one is going to be Stellar Blade. That was announced in 2019. In 2021, Sony Interactive Entertainment bought the marketing rights for the game and announced it to be published in 2022. Shift Up was found. Yeah, so it looks like they were already working on the project. It looks like then Sony came up to them and said that we want the exclusivity rights.
So anything about them going bankrupt? No.
That's what they were making mobile games. Studio first project was 2016 mobile title Destiny's Child. Okay, that was their first mobile game. No, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wait, did they really make a Beyonce game as their first mobile game? No, the Destiny Child saw a censor and international release in 2018, so their mobile game went international in 2018. By June 2020, Shift Up bought the publishing rights with intentions of releasing an uncensored version of the. What type of fucking game is this?
Some
uncensored.
Some game that you'll be looking up on Steam once this show's over.
In 2019, Shift Up announced 2 new projects: a new mobile title, codename Project Nike, the Goddess of Victory, and titled Project Eve, set to release on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PlayStation. Project Eve led to the founding of the second team win the Shift Up dubbed Second Studio, which is the mostly compromise of developers who worked on Kim on Blades and Souls. In September, Shift Up announced the Project Eve will come to PlayStation 5 with Sony Interactive Entertainment marketing the title globally in September 2022. I don't see anything about them going bankrupt, and it looks like they. Yeah, okay. Do not look up Destiny's Child uncensored version. Okay, but
told y'all.
But
boy, got 2 keyboards.
Yeah, I don't see anything about them going bankrupt. Yeah, I mean, it looks like their mobile game is done.
They just saw the game, they liked it enough to purchase marketing rights and exclusivity for it, but the game was gonna come out regardless.
Yeah, so it looks like their mobile game probably actually funded this game. Jesus, man, why does sex sell so much, man?
Because we can't get enough of it.
But I can't find it.
Yeah, so
I don't think you will find it. I don't think they were.
The Destiny Childs, though, y'all should check out their first IP, first mobile IP, man.
Well, I think that studio understands that sex sells the same way that Dead or Alive realized that, and
just make a sex game and just to sell a shit ton of copies, and then make your real game based off the sex game funded.
And I think that's something that Square leaned into with the Nier series.
That was very tame compared to what we got today.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but still they understand, having hot characters helps a game sell.
That's true, but
people are still complaining about Mary Jane and Aloy as of recent, so that's kind of popped back up with this new Stellar Blade character.
Oh my god! You have
renaming the game to Stellar Yams as a result of her beauty.
Her
Not
cheek meat. Her cheek meat.
So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. These avatars actually have some decent amount of movement though. So you can cast spells, you can recall. It's just that your characters are like half naked, but for the adult version. But oh, interesting. Did very well in South Korea.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. But Jubei,
okay,
your thoughts? Does this is gonna be a multi-layered topic, guys? So we're gonna be here for a second. Does exclusivity benefit you, the consumer, Jubei? Thoughts?
Not really. It forces me to spend more money. Because of that is why I own a Series X, a PS5, a Switch, and a PC, because that is the only way to play everything. If everything was cross-platform or multi-platform, then I could then pick a platform and go. Like literally, all it does is entice you to go into that ecosystem. But as somebody who wants to play everything, I'm going to buy everything. So, to me personally, no, it doesn't benefit me at all. Besides me having everything and saying that I do.
That's like an extra like what, $2-3 grand you could have spent on actual games.
Yep.
That you have to spend on platforms.
Yep.
And controllers.
Yep, exactly. But I don't have that option, so
yeah,
it's donezo. I mean, I made my choices. You know what I mean? So, all it does is it leads to sales of the console. Yeah. Like sales of the console does not benefit the consumer. It benefits the company that owns the damn console.
Yeah, it benefits them, and it gives them the opportunity. Can you stop watching your mobile porn? There?
I'm not. No, they're showing all the avatars from the clean version to the uncensored version, and
your facial reactions is kind of.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, they just like added so much in the uncensored version of these characters. I'm like, damn.
I bet they did. But yeah, when you purchase into a platform, it just gives them the opportunity to sell more software. That's all it's about. That's what the exclusivity is about. It's like, let's get them in so that when they get our console, they purchase Call of Duty here, they purchase 2K here, they purchase whatever, Sea of Stars here, they purchase whatever game is coming out, they purchase it here instead of on this other platform. That's pretty much what it all comes down to. Versus if everything was not exclusive, which I don't think that'll ever be the case, because platforms need some sort of exclusivity.
You need a way to sell the platform.
Yeah, you
right?
need a way to sell the platform.
The exclusives exist to sell the platform. That's it.
Yeah, but if there was a world where no exclusives exist, then consumers would then choose their platform by what kind of services that platform offers, what kind of hardware that platform offers. It wouldn't be based on exclusivity. It would be based on the actual quality of the platform and its offering. So yeah, that would be like kind of like how Android, like how people pick their phones based on who actually makes the best phone, versus any type of
or what they are most comfortable with, or what their friends have.
Yeah. So but yeah, so layer 2 of this topic. How do you guys feel about these 4 games coming to PlayStation and Nintendo? Well, not all 4 games, because Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves aren't coming to the Switch, right? It's just Grounded and Pentiment. Am I right, Jubei?
Yes. So it's Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, and
the ones that are actually coming
so Sea of Thieves is coming?
The ones that are actually going to Switch currently.
Oh.
It's just Pentiment and Grounded, right?
Pentiment and Grounded.
Yeah.
Yep. Switch can't run Sea of Thieves, bro. What you gonna run that at 20?
No, I was gonna say, like, the Switch can run Sea of Thieves now?
Switch 2 will be able to. Sea of Thieves will probably be a launch title for the Switch 2.
It probably will, and I hope it is. I would love to be able to take Sea of Thieves Mobile that's not on cloud.
I think that's kind of what I think that's kind of what they're banking on is Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves being launch titles for the Switch, and that's when they'll give it the marketing push because they didn't really give it much marketing that it was coming everywhere in like 3 weeks for the current platforms that they're going to. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Jubei, on these 4 games as the Xbox guy that are going to these other platforms?
I've said it before. None of that shit hurts my feelings personally. Sea of Thieves needs more players anyway. I need funding for more shit to be in this game, and it needs players. So not mad at it.
It's live service.
Same with Grounded. Yeah, same with Grounded. These aren't like tentpole releases. I mean, maybe you can call Hi-Fi a tentpole release because it's like their first successful like Japanese game since like fucking Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey. You know, so sure.
Even that was a AA game though.
Right. But those going to other platforms, I'm like, it doesn't hurt if people have pretty maxed out the buying potential or whatever on it, then why not sell it for $70 on another damn platform? Or no, it's not even said, it's like $50. Sell it somewhere else, you know, on another platform. I'm okay with that. It doesn't affect me. It just means money for a sequel. Thanks. You know. Anybody is like, oh, it's garbage, like, but watch it sell well on PlayStation or whatever, and people's tunes are going to change. All these games are going to go to these other platforms, and it's going to be like, oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread, just because it's not just on fucking Xbox. But
I'm not sure that these games will sell over 1 million copies between the new platforms.
I think Sea of Thieves is going to sell 1 million copies on the PlayStation.
I think Sea of Thieves will go bonkers on Switch.
At the beginning.
On Switch 2, I think it will. Because it'll have that marketing push. I'm not sure about PlayStation. Because it's just kind of getting dropped on there with no real marketing. So I don't know. It's kind of iffy for me.
I'm curious about Grounded. I wonder how Grounded's going to do. Because I ain't gonna lie, when that game was early access and I played it, I was like, meh, and I left. That was like when we had a shit ton of survival games. And right now, the number one survival game is Power World right now.
So the thing that I think Grounded will benefit from just in general is that now that it's releasing on other platforms, because it kind of got reviewed in early access and never really got a quote unquote fair review.
It should get re-reviewed, and
yeah, it's gonna get
the content now that it's out of early access is really good.
Yeah, it's gonna get re-reviewed, and I think that's where it'll kind of benefit is the fact that it gets re-reviewed. But yeah, I think Grounded will do well on the Switch. They probably need to do some things, you know, like you being able to make your own avatar and maybe.
No, there's no need for that. Like you're playing as the kids. Like that doesn't need to change.
Kids want to make their own people though. You can make their own kid. Looks like
there's just really no point.
As long as a black kid doesn't have the Killmonger haircut, I'm okay.
You know they're gonna keep putting that stupid short ass dread with the fucking.
I'm sorry when they did that to my man Eddie in Tekken 8. I was like, why?
Dang.
It was so unnecessary.
Dang.
That's just how they see us, bro.
Black Panther sold a Billy. It's a $1 billion hairstyle.
Oh my god.
You want $1 billion in your life, Nappy? Gotta get the hairstyle.
Fuck that shit. But back to game.
So yeah, now that you spoke up, what are your thoughts on Xbox expanding to 4 more titles?
When I saw the first interview when Xbox and like Phil Smith said, like, look, we're just expanding 4 titles. That's it. This is no promises for other games. I was like, well, first off, I was thinking about all the motherfucking people that were talking about the Xbox was doomed, speaking about like that shit was facts. And I'm like, bro, we haven't even heard no confirmation from Microsoft yet. These people were running wild with it.
And no, what really makes it wild is it was games that everybody like dismissed when they came out, except for Hi-Fi. Like like make it like people like, oh, it's going up like motherfucking majority.
Yeah,
Xbox players hasn't played Grounded or fucking Hi-Fi Rush or Pentiment. Look at them damn completion percentages. We don't even play that shit.
I'm about to say, I'm thinking like it's like Gears and like Halo or something. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like it was.
Outside of Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves had to get it out the mud. Grounded had to get it out the mud. Pentiment to me is kind of still in the mud.
It is, even though
it's a game that reviewed fantastic, but no one plays it. It's
reviewed fantastic, but nobody fucking played it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like Sea of Thieves, like Sea of Thieves makes sense. Like all the games make sense because it's just like these are live service games besides Hi-Fi Rush.
Well, to me, Hi-Fi Rush makes more sense than any of them because they plan on reviving Guitar Hero, and Guitar Hero is going to be multi-platform, and you can have Chai be the face of Guitar Hero.
You really
could. That could work. I mean, a lot of people, they're trying to put a lot of things together. I mean, but again, it's just like, and not only that, but especially acquiring Activision, they got all these live service games. I mean, why would you want a live service game to be exclusive? You will not benefit. Like, I'm surprised.
And I've been saying that, like, bro, you need as many players as you can.
Can you imagine Final Fantasy 14 being exclusive to a single platform?
Oh, it'd be trash. Absolute trash.
It'd be dead by now. It wouldn't be. It would be
dead. It would be. It'd be dead. Yes, now. Okay, if a live service on a PC, I can somewhat understand.
But if it was just on if it was just on a console, like Phantasy Star used to be, it'd be dead. Like look at Phantasy Star now. Like it's kind of like it's around.
Well, Phantasy Star 2, I don't know how the hell it's surviving. The Japanese people love Phantasy Star 2.
It's small, but like it's not really this thriving.
They're kicking. I will give Game Pass credit though for Naraka Blade Point. They like literally Game Pass revived that game. That game was about on the brinks of live service collapsion. Game
Pass revives a lot of games. It gives it a marketing push.
Yeah. So, again, a live service game should not be exclusive. The whole purpose of a live service game is to get as many players playing as possible on many platforms as possible. Heck, even Warframe just now opened up to iOS and they're about to open up to Android. They're trying to get all the players. Fuck exclusivity.
And I agree with you. And with that said, I feel like Xbox put themselves in a terrible predicament because
they got a lot of live service games now under them.
No, their biggest live service. Well, their biggest internal live service game is Halo, but it's also their tentpole franchise. So you kind of put yourself in a predicament to where you really can't put it everywhere. I think I think the furthest they can go with that is PC, just because of what Halo means to Xbox, PC. The brand.
Yeah, so I can see Halo and Gears are probably going to be the two live service games that probably won't go multi-platform.
Gears isn't live service though.
No, Gears 4 and 5 were live service.
They have multiplayer.
They had battle passes.
Oh,
they had battle passes.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It was terrible. It was bad.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, they just had multiplayer.
There's a reason why Gears 5 died.
Yeah.
And Gears 4 was on the dying pole.
I'm used to Gears just having multiplayer. I'm not used to them being like full-fledged live service games. They went the live service route, and that's why a lot of people say rip Gears. They don't like the Coalition company a little bit for going live service. But as far as all these rest of these live service games, yeah, sure, go ahead, go on other platforms. The more players, the better. Like it's like nobody wants to be that one guy that picks on the iPhone users that pick on Android users. Talk about, oh, that's why you can't play with us. I'm like, what? No, that's stupid. Let everyone play on their own preferred platform. It's a live service game, god damn it. So, yeah, Omar. What are your thoughts on the on the Xbox side of the 4 titles that are now coming to your preferred platform?
So first of all, if there was information that Nintendo was supposed to host their show before Microsoft did their business meeting. So the game coming to Nintendo was gonna be announced by Nintendo, not by Microsoft.
Microsoft didn't announce the games. Nintendo announced the games. That didn't change.
But no. Literally after the show, even before the show ended, the information was out that these are the 4 games coming.
Yeah, it was
Well,
leaked.
those were leaks. Nothing was confirmed.
Nothing was announced. That's what I'm saying. It was announced by Nintendo. I mean, you had leaks of what people thought the games were, just like people thought.
No. It was literally confirmed by the Verge that the games are gonna be announced.
The Verge is that that's them trying to leak it. They're not. No, Microsoft was keeping a tight lip on that one. They ain't confirm or deny.
A tight lip when it's literally announced.
It's a leak.
Like it was leaked, yeah.
But they didn't.
They never confirmed it.
Xbox didn't announce the games. You said Xbox announced the games. They did not.
No, I'm saying what look. The information that these games are gonna drop. These games were before the Xbox event. Nintendo event was supposed to be on that same day, and they were supposed to reveal these games. So the information Microsoft going multiplat. The information Microsoft going multiplat wouldn't have been confirmed by Microsoft but by Nintendo. That's the first one. Also, we know that Battletoad and what's the other game?
Battletoads?
Yeah. There's Battletoad. I saw Battletoad on the Nintendo Direct.
I forgot all about Battletoad, man. That was on.
Battletoads hasn't been announced yet.
I'm
about to say they didn't say nothing about Battletoads. I mean, that's on Game Pass.
Kill Instinct, or am I wrong with this one?
No. Nothing has been announced outside of those 4 games.
I'm gonna say be careful. Do not go because they only announced 4 games that they said they were pushing other platforms, and they haven't said anything about any other games.
It's been 6 games because you got Rare Replay, but Rare Replay is a bunch of games that were already on Nintendo to begin with, and then you got
the games.
You got Tell Me Why.
I do believe that there are emoticons. They just haven't announced them. And also with this one, it's gonna be a wait and see. If PlayStation fans buy this game, hey, who knows? The whole slate. Anything can happen.
Whole slate is not happening.
This is the same Phil Spencer that said the same exact same wording when it comes to game day and date on PC.
Here's the deal that people on the other side of this fence, the PlayStation fans, have to recognize. Xbox currently is the largest third-party publisher in the industry now that they have purchased ABK. So to say that more Xbox games are going to be coming to other platforms is kind of like a no shit thing, especially when you listen to the Xbox business meeting. And Matt Booty made it clear, we're going to be adding more teams. They're still going to be acquiring things. So, because right now, Microsoft has a shit ton of cash on hand, and the gaming industry is struggling. There are layoffs across the board. It is the most lucrative time ever if you have the cash on hand to actually purchase these companies because you're purchasing them all at a discount. So Microsoft is not done purchasing companies. Right now, they probably would have already announced another acquisition had they not been battling with the FTC. If they weren't battling with if it weren't for them in court right now, they probably would have already announced the acquisition. I'm not saying it would have been a publisher, but they probably would have already acquired a couple studios from Embracer, or now Supermassive Games is going under. It's happening across the industry. These studios and these publishers are hurting right now because of what's going on in the world. And Microsoft's not done. They are going, like, when it's all said and done, I don't think anyone's gonna have more studios than Microsoft when they're done on their conquest of purchasing content. So with that being said, they are going to be releasing a shit ton of games to Nintendo and to PlayStation and to Steam, but they're still going to have a curated exclusive library of content. Like they're never going to go full multiplat, but they are going to what they acquire, they're going to keep some of it to themselves. Just like PlayStation is going to keep some of it to themselves while they still plan on aspiring to, multiplat, going more multiplat with their games. So I mean, it's just like the whole full slate that's never going to happen. But they are going to release a lot more games multiplat over the years, because I believe through the agreement that they made with the CMA, like pretty much anything that's made by ABK or in partnership with ABK has to go multiplat. So like if ABK were to help the coalition make a game, I think that game has to go multiplat now. I'm not 100% sure on that. But
wait, you talking about coalition? You talking about the Gears game franchise?
No, I'm saying like if ABK and if ABK's name is on a game, it has to go multiplat, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah, I might say I don't think ABK's name's going to be on the Gears. That's what I'm
saying. But I'm saying anything that has ABK's name on it, anything that has Activision, Blizzard, or King on it, I think has to be multiplat. So they partner with id and they do a joint venture together to make a game or whatever, or even if not even like a partnership where they make a game together. If one of the other studios go to Activision and say, this is an IP that we want to work on, like Prototype. If a different studio wants to make Prototype, I'm pretty sure Prototype has to be a multiplat. It can't be exclusive at the moment.
Yeah, we already know Call of Duty. They promised to bring more Call of Duty games to the Nintendo platform. I don't know how it's going. I don't think it's going to work on the Switch 1.
It's going to be a launch. It's going to be a launch title on the Switch 2. That's my guess.
It's going to be.
No, not a launch title, because it's going to be in. They're saying that it's going to launch in March. That's going to be another topic, but probably that fall, whatever Call of Duty comes out that fall will be on the Switch.
Well, the biggest one is Call of Duty Warzone. So if we know Warzone's about to release, and that's actually on mobile and console, so they're trying to.
I mean, that can go on Switch right now. Warzone can go on Switch right now. If it's on mobile, it can go on Switch.
Yeah, it can. But no, the Snapdragon 3, the newer phones are actually more powerful than the Switch, which is sad.
You can run Warzone on older phones though too.
You can Call of Duty Mobile, yes. Warzone, nah.
Ain't there a new Call of Duty Mobile coming out soon too? Like
Warzone, that's what it's called.
Okay.
It hasn't released yet.
Yeah, the new one comes out in April, right?
Yeah, it's like sometime in April.
Yeah.
Well, like they're right now. These studios, like when the Warframe came out, and now it's on iPhone, and it's running. Man, that thing is pushing that iPhone to the brinks. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm sure it's on fire.
But all the particle effects get the Warframe with the shiny particles. Oh my god, man! You just light up that phone. That phone be heating. But back to the APK. Yeah, I could definitely see it like Call of Duty, Spyro. Heck, Overwatch 2, if they bring it back, Diablo. I mean, they got Hearthstone. Like, they have so many games that were multi-platform. It doesn't make any sense for them to make them exclusive, because honestly, that just hurts the pockets of the ABK division. You had this one fan base. Now you're forcing them to buy this console, even though you can't go in a payment plan, but still. It's way too anti-consumer and way too aggressive.
Even if you do Spyro or Crash Bandicoot at this point, like, does it really make sense to make it exclusive at this point? Because platformers don't even sell that much in general, and then if you make it exclusive to your platform, I mean, you're lucky to sell 2 to 5 million, versus if you have it everywhere, you might get 7, 8 million, maybe, you know.
Yeah, I do think we do need, it just needs a balance, because honestly, if we didn't, like, it's like this, if the only reason why I think we have exclusive is because we have multiple companies that's in this industry. If we only had one company that just made video games for everyone, that have true monopoly, that I wouldn't want that, because in that case they can make the rule. I don't want one company to be able to make all the rules of how we enjoy our games.
I don't think exclusivity is going to go away, but I do think over time the hardware is going to go away, as just the way our technology is going, the way our DVDs players have disappeared. I think the same way consoles eventually will kind of.
I saw some for cheap. They're cheap now.
Yeah, so I think that'll kind of be the same thing, where
they're going to everyone start providing services. I mean, I do know in the U.S. United States they're pushing fiber everywhere. Like right now, AT&T has a contract in Baltimore. They're trying to push fiber in Baltimore now. So
yeah, I mean, you're still going to want to push to like markets that don't have access to that type of internet. So I'm thinking some type of hardware will be available. But I'm thinking like in like 10, 15 years, I don't.
I don't know. I give it a little bit longer. I say it's like 30. I mean,
technology grows way too fast. To say
I'm saying the Midwest. The Midwest, you'll be surprised. The Midwest doesn't have a lot of fiber. They're relying on satellite internet a lot.
Yeah, but they will find, technology grows so fast. They will find solutions that aren't.
You gotta dig up so much infrastructure.
They aren't going to be limited by fiber, like by solely fiber. Is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying fiber is the best connection right now. Heck, India, I don't know how they did it, but India has now gave half of their country fiber internet, and oh my god, their mobile gaming exploded because of that.
Yeah, I mean, well, those countries are a lot smaller, so that they don't have as many.
India is huge,
but it's still smaller than the US.
Well, yeah.
That's like China is huge. They don't have fiber all throughout their country because the country is so large.
Well, no, but their cellular structure towers is actually on point. I'll give them that.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying the country's so large that you don't have fiber internet across the entire country of China.
Yeah.
Versus like if you go somewhere like Japan, that's a smaller country. It's a lot easier to have fiber running end to end across. Same thing with like South Korea. A lot easier to have, or Singapore. I think Singapore has like the best internet in the world.
Yes, and they're a very beautiful country.
But it's also a very small country.
It is. But I don't know. Yeah, but going back to gaming though. Exclusive, yeah, just spread your games everywhere. It doesn't make sense for them to acquire all these things and make them go exclusive. They will probably lose money if they were to do that.
You can't afford to purchase all of these publishers and studios and fund all their development costs and then make them exclusive just to your platform. Like, even if, because the video game industry is capped as far as consoles are concerned. Like, I think the past 3 generations, it's been the same total number of consoles sold. I think it's like around like 270 million consoles, and it's sitting right at that number. And there was another interesting statistic that Matt Piscatella put out when it just came to games in general, and basically gamers just younger gamers aren't buying games at the moment, and I think part of that is recession based. Like, it dropped from like I think they had like 22% of what was it? It was 15 in 2020. 15% of people aged 18 to 24 were buying video games in 2020. That number has dropped to 7%.
I'm gonna say you also got to think that was during pandemic era too.
2020 was a pandemic. Yeah, I guess it was a pandemic.
Yeah, so remember, media industry exploded. That's when video games really exploded.
Yeah,
and now that we're kind of still in the phase of everyone getting out of the pandemic eras. People are going outside now, so it kind of died a little bit. So that's why tech industries are like laying off people, because they're like.
But still, younger people are not the buyers of video games at the moment. It's older people. I think that's kind of always been the case.
It's millennials.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the gaming industry being capped, you're not getting a lot of new customers. You're not getting a lot of new blood at the moment. You kind of gotta. You gotta get
alphas.
You gotta get new people in, or you gotta get games more available everywhere.
And look what Gen Alpha's playing: Fortnite and Roblox.
Like, like, you know, Xbox and PlayStation, they got to find a way to get their games running on PCs and tablets and phones, because the way the industry is going, it's not growing on the metrics of consoles. It's just not. Consoles just aren't doing. They're not growing. It's been stagnant for 15 years now. But yeah. Next layer of this discussion, Sony, their financials came out, and they, on the PlayStation side, they were not doing very well. They made record revenue, but had their lowest profit margin in years. And the CFO, Hiroki Totoki, he made it known that he thinks that PlayStation, they have a lot of talented studios, but they don't have great business acumen, and they're not really conscious of, you know, how to make profit and what their budget and managing the budget, basically. So they're going to be working on that. He's said that it's going to be a priority to get more games multi-platform faster. Now his translation of multi-platform is not Xbox or Switch at the moment. It is mobile and cloud and PC. But there is a concerted effort to ramp that up. And there wasn't a lot of excitement garnered by what came out of the Sony financial report. As a result, I believe they lost like $10 billion in one day from stock sell-offs.
Oh yeah, that hit the news.
Yeah, so
investors were pissed.
So Sony's not doing very well at all, because I believe they're valued at like right around like 110 billion last I checked, which I haven't checked in a while.
Actually, let me check, because I remember that
they were like $110 billion company, so like you literally lost like 10% of your company's value, or close to 10% in like a day. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Okay, so their shares are now back. Their shares are now the $86 a share now, which is lower than what it was when last time
like
I checked.
90 something. Yeah, so
yeah, that's a huge drop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but yeah. So Omar, what are your thoughts on Hiroki Totoki's statements about making a more concerted effort to go multi-platform, and just PlayStation Studios just not being fiscally responsible?
Did he say Xbox?
No, I already said he didn't say Xbox.
So yeah, it's just more PC, which what he's already been doing, and
no, he hasn't been doing that. He just took over. Like, he just took over on an interim basis in October.
No. I'm talking about PlayStation already being on PC.
Yeah.
Which
they've been a little hesitant on that. The last game we're getting now is finally Horizon Forbidden West with all the DLC.
Yeah, they're gonna ramp it up though, because you're getting Marathon day one. You're getting the
everything multiplayer is gonna go day one.
You're getting the Concord day one, but I think you're gonna start to see a lot of the single player getting there faster, if not day one.
I don't believe that's gonna happen, but we will see. But other than that, I don't think what he said is any different from what have been happening beforehand. If we see different iterative,
beforehand, the message was that you will get it a year to 2 years after releases on PlayStation. The message now is that we have to do it a lot faster than that. So
but we're gonna see if what's the game that's coming out? Celebrate. Celebrate.
That game comes out in April, and that they're just publishing it, so they bought the publishing rights to that game.
I mean, it would still be the responsibility of Shift Up to do the port, so be whatever their capacity is.
The game's made on Religion 4. It's literally made on a PC, so
It should
It's
be.
gonna wait and see which game is gonna be released on PlayStation from PlayStation on PC and single player game.
Well, I told you the last game we're getting is Horizon Forbidden West with all the DLC.
That's next.
Yeah.
That's next month. That's next month.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
That's the next PlayStation game coming to Steam.
yeah, but that's already 2 years ago. But the crazy part about Horizon you're not even getting the DLC. That's a crazy part.
What do you mean? No, they make sure that's like a common trend. Like if they don't give people the DLC with the game and then charge us full price, PC players are not going to buy it. They almost did that with Final Fantasy VII, and they had no choice but to integrate it in. Because if they didn't,
I misheard you. So you're getting it with the DLC.
Yes, we always get your games with all your DLC.
I was confused. Like it's no sense in hell that they would do something like that. So I was confused.
Yes, the Spider-Man games we got with all the DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, but it makes sense to do it to release. I mean, when you see the success of Helldivers 2 on PC, it makes sense. Like when you're getting more sales on PC than you're getting on PlayStation, it makes sense to capture as much of that revenue as possible. Like Hiroki Totoki, he's not a video game guy. He's a money guy. He's the CFO of Sony. He didn't care about PlayStation until they said, we need you to go fix PlayStation. So his idea of fixing PlayStation is not anything that's loyal to a specific device. It's a loyalty to money and satisfying the shareholders. So he's going to do whatever is in the best interest of making Sony profitable, which may be different than what a Jim Ryan or what a Herman Hulst would do as people who were career PlayStation people and were concerned mainly about the brand of PlayStation and growing the brand out.
Shit, actually, there's another single player title coming to PC, Until Dawn.
Yeah, that's a remake.
So yeah, because we have so PC players, we have a Steam, like PlayStation got their own page on Steam that will give you all the news of the upcoming games that are coming to PC. So if they would make games come sooner, I'm sure. I mean, honestly, I was looking at Final Fantasy 16 because I was just curious. Like they said the game was supposed to come out in December. It clearly didn't.
No, they said the exclusivity window ended in December. They didn't say it was launching that day. But
man,
I'm telling you, the money wasn't right with 16 as far as like it didn't disappoint, but it didn't exceed. So when that happens, you don't really get the funding allocated to and the time allocated to do the port. I'm telling you, that's what slowed it up. Y'all still get it, but they had to choose. They probably, because they already broke that team up, the 16 team. They already broke them up. So whatever resources they have allocated probably went to the DLC. So you get the DLC coming in April for Final Fantasy 16. So after that DLC drops, PC players will probably see Final Fantasy 16 in this holiday window. Honestly, that's probably the earliest you guys will see it, but it'll probably be the game with all the DLC included.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, also with all the DLC included.
I don't think it's an issue of making more money. I think it's just the relationship that they've established with Sony, and I think they've kind of been loyal to that relationship, even to their own detriment. Because me personally, I've always said Final Fantasy the series needs to be everywhere. I feel like Final Fantasy is a franchise that has built up enough popularity and brand loyalty that if it were released everywhere day and date, it could grow to a game that every time it released one, it was like releasing an Elden Ring and it would sell 20 to 30 million copies. I really think Final Fantasy could be that, but I feel like they've held themselves back by being exclusively tied to Sony, and I kind of felt like they were kind of going on that track when they did Final Fantasy 15 a couple years ago, and that was like their worst Final Fantasy like a long time, and that sold like 15 million copies. And Final Fantasy 7 remake didn't even hit 15 million copies. So
yeah, I don't know. Square Enix is going through a weird stage.
Well, they got a new CEO now, so I think
Square Enix do got a new CEO.
I think they're on the right
track. At the same time, like it's just like with Square Enix, yeah, they can't afford to be exclusive. I mean, they're big enough where they turned down the deal with Sony to be purchased by Sony. So it's like they know they're big enough to survive on their own.
Right, not anymore.
Well, definitely not after that last press show and that stock market's hitting like crazy.
Not after what Bungie did to them. Bungie's hurting them.
I thought Bungie was free.
No, they bought Bungie. They bought Bungie for $7 billion. So I think it's like the largest acquisition in Sony's history.
Oh, so what happened with Destiny 2?
Destiny 2 is like in the tank right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, because if Destiny 2 is in the tank, then that means that Sony is
pre-order numbers is ass right now.
I'm about to say because I thought Bungie they were excited. Oh no, Activision owned Destiny. Okay,
Activision owned Destiny at one point. They owned Bungie at one point, but then Bungie got sold.
Then they separated.
Yeah, they liberated.
And then themselves. Sony bought Destiny.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Timeline established.
So yeah, they're not. Bungie really hurt them as far as like it just hasn't yielded the returns that they expected, and then Marathon is kind of like get positive feedback. But I think Jubei is the last one who hasn't given a thought on the PlayStation side of them talking about going multi-platform. So Jubei, do you have any thoughts on this particular topic?
I don't think that they're going to go multi-platform in the console sense. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, base though, because they're not making the one thing about PlayStation gamers. That I will say is I think the mass majority of that 50 million are mainly casuals who aren't invested in Sony first party titles.
Right.
That's why we don't see many Sony games reaching that 20 million mark or even 15 million. A lot of them don't even sell 10 million.
Yes.
And I think they need that PC audience to where they can get that 15 million, that 20 million. As an average for games being so there's no reason that Spider-Man 2 is should be sitting in the red a month after it comes out. It should be in the black day one. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I'm not saying that it's still in the red. I don't know that. I didn't pay attention to the financials that much to see how. Because they do, I know on Sony's financials they tell you how much each game sold, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a game that's in the red a month after it comes out. It just shouldn't. It should be in the black day one with pre-orders and everything.
Damn.
Which game?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 only sold 10 million copies.
Yeah,
only 10 million.
It's 10 million.
Yeah, at the time of the Insomniac leaks, it hadn't turned a profit yet.
That is.
Because it had a $300 million budget.
Yeah, that was a huge budget for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I blame the Killmonger haircut for I'm gonna always blame the Killmonger haircut. Every time I see it, I'm gonna blame it. But
no, I think Insomniac got a little. I think what happened with that is I don't think the game cost $300 million. That's just my opinion. I think Insomniac realized that they were carrying PlayStation and got a little bit too big for their britches and started wasting money and allocating it to the Spider-Man 3 budget. Because ain't no way that game cost, ain't no way that a game that's built off of two other games cost
I would expect 100% new.
All you did was add 2 new cities or 2 new boroughs. Yeah, the 2 new boroughs.
And they took the ray tracing. And so the ray tracing, they took advantage of the PS5 by adding more vehicles, which the PC version has the same amount of vehicles on the Spider-Man 1 compared to the Spider-Man 2 PS5. It's
not
10 million.
It's not enough to say that it cost $300 million. I think they allocated money elsewhere.
10 million copies for it's good for a single platform game, but
It's not good it's not good for Spider-Man. Spider-Man should be like a Spider-Man game. That should be like 20-ish, 25 million lifetime copies.
Well, yeah, the CFO, he probably should get Spider-Man 2 out to PC platform as quickly as possible because that's like a really big player base, and PC, and there's a lot of PC players who refuse to get PlayStation 5 because we're kind of like the community of our biggest thing is freedom. We want the freedom to play.
You know, it's gonna be crazy
with different games
when it does come to PC, because Spider-Man 2 will come to PC. If it comes to PC before Wolverine comes out, and they take the Wolverine metadata and port Wolverine into Spider-Man.
I don't know. They got to redo the game from scratch because of that damn leak. So I don't even know if Wolverine is going to come out.
I doubt they're doing it from scratch, and it's still coming out.
The source code.
Did they say that?
I mean, they said that that's a possibility. That's the possible damage because it was that bad. Like they had to go on full cleanup mode. Like every time somebody leak the code, man, Insomniac, like they turned it into a Nintendo, basically hunting people down. That's
what you got to do, man. You got to protect your company at all costs.
You got to, besides some of the personal PPI information being leaked, the source code for Wolverine got leaked, and that is something that's extremely damaging to a company. You don't ever want your source code,
because Grand Theft Auto source code leaked, and they didn't do that from scratch.
That was extremely early. I mean, if you look, Wolverine also looked virtual.
Like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how long the game could have came out earlier, or could have been announced earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure probably wasn't for it. I doubt that Wolverine's going to start from scratch. I think they have.
Well, they said they had to make modifications and some stuff now.
I'm sure that's true, but to start from scratch would be hundreds of millions of dollars in the drain, and I don't think they're willing to do that. But before I go into our next topic, we had some contributions from the panel. Contributions from the chat, and I don't want to ignore that. So from Legendary Yobi, his comments to Omar in regards to Kojima, who says he just went straight to Microsoft. Regular dude, he's fucking Kojima, you know. Omar, anything you want to say, Legendary Yobi?
He literally went to PlayStation. PlayStation rejected the idea, and then he went to Microsoft for.
Microsoft went to Kojima for a game, not Kojima was running around trying to get.
No. Kojima wanted to make a cloud game.
Do we know that OD is a cloud game? I mean, I don't know that it's a cloud game. We just know that it's code developed by him and a couple movie people. Let's see. See anything else? Don't care for Grounded and Pentiment. Hi-Fi Rush. Love this shit. Love the shit out of it. That's from Legendary Yobi 2. Let's see. Another one from Legendary Yobi. Phil Spencer can say whatever he wants at the end of the day. His bosses can override anything he says, period. That is very true.
Here. I have it here. And it said that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So it said that Hideo Kojima had discussed his mysterious cloud gaming project Microsoft is set to publish.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily have to be OD. That's what I'm saying. Do we know that OD is the cloud-based game?
What other game is Microsoft funding for Kojima?
It could be one you don't know. There's a such thing as unannounced projects. That's what I'm saying. Do we know for sure that OD is this cloud-based game? Because I think if it was the cloud-based game, I think it would have came out of the VGAs that was the cloud-based game they were working on. But we don't know because they haven't said that. So I'm not saying that it is or that it isn't. We just don't know. Kind of what I'm saying. And last one from Stanley Francois. I think Xbox is trying to figure out this new wave in gaming, especially with all these studios, while Sony is showing us the old isn't working either, especially with the PlayStation $10 billion problem, and I agree with that. I think gaming is very fluid and very dynamic, and it's changing. The way that people game is changing. The devices that they prefer to game on is changing, and the type of games that they want to play is changing. So, yeah, so that's everything for that particular topic. Let me get this timestamp down real quick because I forgot to do it for the last one. And let's see.
Oh, here is the information for the game.
OD?
And this is the OD game.
Okay.
We have finally gotten. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What do you guys say about OD?
Yeah, we have finally gotten our first teaser for OD, the new Hideo Kojima game coming to Xbox. What you need to know: we have finally gotten our first proper look at OD, Hideo Kojima exclusive collaboration with Xbox Game Studio using cloud technology.
Okay, so that is the cloud-based game.
Yeah, it is the cloud-based game.
Okay. Well, Sony probably didn't have the resources to make a cloud-based game. Also,
I can't tell you about that. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
So I can't do anything about that. But we do know that Hideo Kojima went to Google, and Google said to Stadia, and Stadia said no.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a good thing they said no, because they're not in gaming anymore as we currently know it. But yeah, so let's jump into that next topic, which will be typo, which is Final Fantasy Rebirth Metascore comes out, and it landed at a 93, which is the second highest Metascore ever for Final Fantasy. But I will preface that with saying that the highest Metascore Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 9, and it reached, I believe, a 94, and it did it with only 24 reviews that count towards the Metascore, versus Final Fantasy Rebirth 7 Rebirth is at a 93 with over 114 reviews, which to me would be a little bit more impressive than 24, because you had a lot more people play it, and the opinions could be a lot more varied than they could be with 24. But yeah, so with that said, this could potentially be the best Final Fantasy installment we've ever had. And before we actually start talking about Final Fantasy 7 and our expectations of it, we saw a little bit of drama on the Twitterverse about a certain reviewer who reviewed Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and contributed to the overall Metascore of said game. But he had mentioned that he hadn't played a remake. So we had some argument in the chat, our DMs, I should say, that if you didn't play a previous installment, you should not be able to review the sequel. As a host, before I toss it off to everyone, I made my stance known that it doesn't necessarily matter if you played the original or not, because there are going to be a lot of people who will find value in your review, because not everyone who is going to play Final Fantasy Rebirth will have played Remake as their before playing Rebirth. For a lot of people, their first experience with Final Fantasy will be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That'll be the first installment that they've ever played for a lot of people, or some people it might be the first Final Fantasy VII game that they've ever played. So if you're that person who is buying Final Fantasy Rebirth for the first time, or you're interested in buying Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for the first time, but you're not interested in playing Remake, a review from a person who is in the same situation as you would be valuable. So in that sense, your review is not invalid, because there are a group of people who will find validity in your perspective, who are jumping in it from that point in the story. But with that said, I'm going to bounce it down to to Omar, and he can give you his perspective on his expectations of a reviewer who is reviewing a sequel. So Omar, what are your thoughts?
So my thing is, as a reviewer, you're supposed to know your stuff. You're a reviewer. You're not like, when I say that is, games lives and dies by reviews for the most part. Reviews do matter, no matter how people want to slice it or dice it. And another thing is, if you're a reviewer and you're gonna say, I played part 2 before playing part 1, we are not talking about playing Final Fantasy 6 and then playing Final Fantasy 5, for example. No, we're talking about playing Final Fantasy 7 Disc 2 and not knowing what happened in Disc 1.
Well, technically,
Like,
Rebirth is still Disc 1.
I have a question. What happened in Disc 1? They didn't. I don't want to spoil it, but the Aerith thing. Doesn't that happen in Disc 1?
Disc 1 goes from Midgar all the way to the Temple of the Ancients. Technically, Rebirth is the end of Disc 1.
So basically, what happened with Aerith?
So Midgar technically is the smallest part of like the Final Fantasy story. Like if you play OG Final Fantasy, you can finish Midgar in about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. So the information that you don't have as someone that's reviewing a game, because like if you would have reviewed CD2 before 1, you wouldn't have known that Aerith was a character in the game.
You mean no? You would have known that Aerith was a character in the game if.
When does that scene happen? Do you know? Because I genuinely forgot about 7.
When does what scene happen?
Separate scene with Aerith.
It happens at the very end of Disc 1. That's how Disc 1 ends.
Yeah. So you're not gonna be playable for you in part 2 in CD2.
Yeah, she's not gonna be playable for you in Disc 2, but you'll still know about her in Disc 2.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to explain. How you gonna review a game? You're reviewing literally a CD now, because the game is sliced in 3 parts. Well, we might get 4. I'm not sure
No, it's only gonna be 3. It's only gonna be 3 games.
How are you gonna push 2 CDs in one game?
Because it's not that much that happens in the third disc of Final Fantasy.
We're gonna see. Anything is possible. But going back to it,
they've already confirmed that it's only gonna be 3 games.
Okay. I truly believe that as a reviewer, you should know what you're about to review. And if you're not qualified, and I'm genuinely gonna say that word, qualified to review a game, don't review it. Leave that to someone else that already played part 1.
See, I don't disagree because I don't agree because I seek out people who have never played games before that I love to get their I watch their Let's Plays. I find so much more value in someone who has never experienced something and is experiencing it from a non-biased perspective. They don't have any love or hate for the game. They're just experiencing it for the first time and just getting that like genuine joy of touching it. Like I find a lot of value in that. I've watched so many Final Fantasy VII remake streams of people who have never played Final Fantasy before and they don't know anything that's going on with the little flashbacks that Cloud's seeing and things like that.
And the changes in the story.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like,
but they are not reviewers though.
But I find value in it. So I can't say I wouldn't find value in a reviewer who is reviewing it for the first time because I like that genuine experience.
It's kind of like a representation of like the new modern audience trying a game for the first time.
It's a
because they didn't try it back then, but then they try it now, and it's like
it's a beauty
the greatness of the game.
First time, like yeah,
and you get that validation when like a new person that has not played that game goes into the game and then they realize how amazing it is. It's like, see, this is great. I'm share greatness with you. Well, my girl's trying to get me to play Persona 3, and I'm like, man. And I know she will find joy because she says that she just wants to sit there and watch me play Persona 3 from beginning to end. Even though she played it, the boys version and the girls version on the PSP Vita.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people find legitimate value and joy in people playing something for the first time, as opposed to like some seasoned vet who is like jaded because it's not as good as, you know, the last one. Like they're judging it based on previous installments and yada yada yada. I think there's a lot of value in someone who is like literally touching a game for the first time. Like I think it's a beautiful thing, personally.
That's your opinion.
But let's see. Nappy started talking. So Nappy, what are your thoughts? Does a reviewer have to play previous installments in order to provide a review on the current game that they're reviewing?
So for this case, for Final Fantasy Rebirth, they kind of are missing key points of the story-ish in a way. But even though the first game really, if you play the original Final Fantasy VII, it was very light on the story compared to the first disc. They couldn't even fit all that story in.
Yeah, I mean,
so
remake just mainly focused on the relationships. It's not really a ton of story.
I'm about to say, like, you can now, honestly, it literally would take like a 5-minute recap.
Yeah.
And you could tell the whole story of that.
Of Midgar. Yeah, it's not a lot that, you know. It's
we already know we are. Yeah, so it's very easy. It's very, very easy to recap that game. So with that being said, like, yeah, I can see that where people are like, oh, you don't understand the depths of the story, but that's for every user. And you kind of don't want to tell the story in the review to be anyway, because that will, you don't want to spoil that. That's something you don't want to spoil. Because I don't know. It's just, I don't really think that you need to play the previous game to enjoy Final Fantasy Rebirth. I mean, the combat is good. The way how the characters interact with each other, the way how they deliver the stories, how they deliver the key moment, the pacing, like that stuff is within that current game. You can still rate without knowing the past game. And then, now, the only thing that you probably not going to understand is maybe aspects of the story, but then again, why spoil the story in a review? You don't want to do that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, bouncing off of you, some of the people who gave Final Fantasy Rebirth a lower score are the people who actually played the original Final Fantasy, and they had different expectations for how it should end.
Yeah,
that's where that's where most of the lower scores came from. Are people who are Final Fantasy fans who are jaded by however Final Fantasy Rebirth ended. So it's like you're coming into a game with previous knowledge can also hurt a review. It doesn't always help it.
Yeah, it can, and it kind of, and it's like when I say a game that's like a re-release, I'm starting to realize that like even like games like Resident Evil 4 remake, it's more so meant for it's meant to capture a new modern audience. I don't think these remakes are meant for. I mean, it's kind of is meant for us old OG players who played the original IPs. I think we're the ones that just hypes up the games to let people like, oh my god, this game was so great back in the day. Now it's going to be better, and we just kind of hype it up to get these new players to come in. And when they try and they realize they like it, they go along with it, and they have like this is like a new slice of cake for them, or like a new piece of pie, a new dish they never had before. For us, it's something that we are familiar with. For them, it's something brand new. So it's kind of like hits our dopamine levels a little bit differently. Like, so I can say that you don't need to play the previous game, because in a way, like the journalist can be a representation of people who just buy the second game and still going to probably find a joy into it. And if the game is that good where you could buy the second game, and is it still amazing? Hey, those people are just going to buy the first game at a discounted price. It's like what, $10 now or $20 on
Actually,
PlayStation?
You can get
No,
you can get both
actually,
games. You can
there
get
is
both games for like $70 or $80 right now.
no,
It's a
so
combo
basically
pack
they
where you get
can
both
have
games for
both games for the same price.
yeah.
yeah, so like my girl, she's I like back in the day, like I love the Dot Hack franchise.
Yeah.
Where I actually played the games, watched the movies and the shows in order. That and right now, no, it does take commitment. You thought Kingdom Hearts was hard to follow? No, try Dot Hack.
Yeah, Dot Hack. That's what Dot Hack takes commitment.
Yo, Dot Hack, it's fucking amazing. It's too bad we haven't got it a remake. We got
we got a remaster for the PC.
A remake.
Yeah, we got GU, but I'm talking about the Triad one.
Yeah, with the 4 games with the Dot Hack Infection, Quadropum, Serious and Quadromina. Those were the 4 Dot Hack games.
Can you try play them on the console? Can you imagine beating the final boss on the console? Like that shit is atrocious. I really wish we get a remake or a remaster of it.
Well, yeah, I could. So anyway, she didn't play the original Dot Hacks, but she's currently experiencing the Dot Hack GU games because so she's going through 1 through 3 right now. And for me, I was like, Dot Hack GU was great because, like, for me, I already know the story from beginning to end, and I know that GU was like a more fast-paced game. So I get joy in watching her play a game that I enjoy. And probably in exchange, I got to play Persona 3 now. So,
Can you imagine playing GU part 2 without playing part 1? Wouldn't you be lost?
I would be lost, but I will say Dot Hack does a good job of giving you a recap of everything. Be like before the game even begins, they will give you the cutscenes about everything that happened prior to what happened. And God forbid, if you play Dot Hack GU without touching Dot Hack, it does a decent job of explaining everything that happened in Dot Hack. It just gives you just enough information. And then they have all the cuts. And they have all the cutscene files. If you want to go deeper, you can go into GU and then you can see everything that happened in the original Dot Hack series with Kite and Black Rose. So it does spark curiosity. And sometimes GU did bring a lot of players into the Dot Hack franchise that did not play Dot Hack. And didn't realize how great of a story it was. So, without all that being said, I do think that you don't need to play the first game to review a second game because that is going to be an audience. Now, if it was like every single reviewer that worked for a company reviewed a game and none of them didn't touch the first game, okay, this is like, okay, do you guys got any like veteran players, like anyone that played the first one? Like, I think having just one person that say like, yeah, I never touched the first one. I touched the second one though, and I love the second one. I don't think that's much of a big deal.
Yeah, I think you need a blend of like just people coming at it from different perspectives.
Yeah.
To get like a true gauge. Jube, what are your thoughts on this topic of reviewers? Should they have to play the previous installment?
As I've said in our chats, I don't think so. Just because some people just don't get in on the first entry of a game for various reasons. Like I use my Mass Effect example. Like I didn't play Mass Effect 1. I played Mass Effect 2 first and then went back to 1 and then played 3. So that does not invalidate my thoughts about how I felt about 2, because me playing 2 or not playing 1 had no bearing on what happened in 2 besides some characters not showing up.
Yeah.
General overarching story was still pretty much the same. My issue with that just line of thinking is it just comes down to we have people that aren't like, if you have people reviewing games that they don't even normally play. Why are you reviewing a racing game if you don't like racing games? But here we are. You know what I mean? It happens.
Yeah, I think you at least need to be a fan of those style of games, even if it's not like your genre. If you like narrative driven games, you know,
right,
play a narrative.
But
if you
that's
like
not
sports,
it's,
you know,
it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that that's what we're getting when people review these games. There is no 100% guarantee that whoever's reviewing this game actually cares about the genre or has played it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're going to put whoever's available to review this game. That does not necessarily, like, if you're reviewing a fighting game and you have somebody that doesn't play fighters reviewing it, their opinion's already skewed. But you're going to look at the publication like, oh, that's still a valid review, even though it shouldn't be because they don't fuck with that game. You know what I mean? So it honestly, it shouldn't really matter. If you didn't play the first one, like that's people's experience. I didn't play Pokemon Red and Blue, and I played Yellow, and I missed. I can talk about Yellow, but I didn't play the first two that came out. You see what I mean? Like, I didn't play Gold, I played Silver. Again, it really doesn't matter. Like, you can still have because all of these reviews, they're just opinions of shit. You can have an opinion of something without watching the first one. There's people that, you know, maybe they skip Star Wars 1 and jump right into Empire Strikes Back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the best Star Wars to them, period. They don't need to watch 1 to know that Empire is the best Star Wars to them.
Shit, I never watched 4, 5, and 6. Don't. But I watched everything but 4, 5, and 6.
See,
I watched all of them.
I've watched a good portion of 4, but I haven't watched all of 4. 5,
I did. Hey, the lightsaber. They trained hard on their sword combat.
Those movies look absolutely fantastic for the time that they came out in. Like, I'm still impressed when I watch. I just never am able to sit through the whole movie of those 3.
Yeah, like when they got into the combat scenes, they even the people who were like recording saying they were moving those things so fast. They had a hard time rendering the lightsaber blades with the hilt.
Yeah, I think
it was that they were moving really fast with their sword combat.
I think the furthest
they actually trained.
The one I made it furthest through is 4, but I haven't seen all of them from beginning to end. I've seen 1, 2, and 3 from beginning to end. I've seen 6. What is it? 7, 8, and 9 from the end, beginning to end. 7, 8, and 9 were ass, but
oh no, that lightsaber kick, that was a complete downgrade.
Yeah, even the lightsaber battles were horrible in 7, 8, and 9. It just
man,
you also have to understand. You have to understand in that time, lightsabers was a lost art because nobody fucking had them. So
I kind of understand that, but at the same time, it's just like
that's why it took a step back. That's why like the skills just aren't there because nobody is out here effectively wielding and training lightsabers. Who the fuck was Luke sparring with to learn how to use a lightsaber? Nobody.
A rock.
Yoda wasn't out here throwing mitts with him.
I mean that's what was it? Luke? No, but Luke actually had a lot of students, a decent amount.
He did. But see, that's different.
The thing is, he had students, but he wasn't nice with it though.
He was strong in the Force, but his saber skills were nowhere near his father's. So
that is true. He did use like brute force and got angry to overpower him.
Exactly. Yeah, he was not. He was not technically skilled.
See, that's why 1, 2, and 3 were my favorite in the series because in 1, 2, and 3 they threw hands. The rest of them they won really.
Because you got to think like they've been around and they've trained nonstop every day with like sabers all the time.
Yeah, they threw hands in 1, 2, and 3.
Luke's first weapon was a blaster. It was not a lightsaber.
It was, yes, it was. And
Anakin was about that smoke when he, as a young man, he was all about it.
He was.
He was fighting there, man. That little race battle too. He was smart too. He was a little clever little somebody.
He was all about that smoke. I'm team Anakin. But yeah. So I guess now we'll transition to the actual game of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I think we'll stick with Jubei here. With it receiving this high of a score, especially considering how many people have reviewed this, more than Final Fantasy IX. Do you think that this is potentially the best installment of Final Fantasy that we'll see? Do you think it has that potential, knowing what you know about Final Fantasy VII already, as a person who has already played it and kind of knowing what it is and then comparing it to previous installments? Do you think it has that potential?
Potential, yeah, but I mean, nostalgia's a bitch because 6 is still my favorite.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean,
6 is a lot of people's
6
favorite.
reviewed at what 6 reviewed at is inconsequential to me. I don't care. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Best villain. You know what I mean? Like it's a great game. So is this? I could honestly say this is the best modern Final Fantasy we're gonna get. If we're gonna use that metric, because I mean, I 9 reviewed extremely well. I'm not the biggest fan of 9.
I'm not the biggest fan of 9 myself either. Like,
not my favorite.
I think the dynamic between Zidane and his brother is cool and all, but like,
right,
it didn't. I think the reason Final Fantasy 9 scored so well is because it was the first like Final Fantasy in a long time that was like in a fantasy setting versus like.
If you want a bad one, go to 8. 8 is terrible.
8 is
amazing.
Not bad.
8 is my.
8 is not bad. Please.
8 is terrible.
8 is 8. Well, 8 is Kofi's favorite.
It can be.
8 is Kofi's favorite. 8
is right up there with 7 for me. Like
to me,
they're 2A and 2B to me.
To me, 8 is better in a lot of aspects than 7. But I just like I like Cloud and Tifa and Bear. I like the characters a little bit more in 7 than I do in 8. But 8 was great.
The only problem I didn't like about 8 was the junction system, like just the how magic and shit work.
Yeah, the junction system was like probably the only thing. But from like a story perspective, that game is clean as shit. I love
fantastic.
it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a clean ass story. I love it.
Even though the best looking man at the party was ugly as shit.
And the way disc 1 ended for Final Fantasy 8 with Squall going on a rampage. Oh my gosh, like bro.
I would take for me my top 3 would be 10, first one, second one 7, and third one 6.
I'm a 7, 8, 10 guy.
Did you play 8 though, Omar?
Yeah, I played it until Rihanna got stuck. So basically what happened is I borrowed 8 from a friend from work. And I had only literally less than a week to beat it. I came against, I'm not sure if it's the second disc or third disc, where Rihanna is getting captured by a monster and you can't hit it or the monster observe her health. I softlock myself. Basically, the issue with 8 is when you level up, your enemies level up with you.
Yeah.
And that's something I was not prepared for. I never knew that about 8 beforehand. So
8 was
it stops the grind. Like, it's like, okay, if they match you, you don't have to. There's no such thing as making mistakes. That's my issue with 10. I went 15 hours in 10, got to Everett, and could not get past him because of how I did my sphere grid. So I literally had to start the game over. Like, I didn't have a choice. There was no previous saves before that. It's like, it's a boss fight. You either get past it or you don't. There was nowhere to go and grind out levels or anything at that point. I fucked myself. And then once I understood how the spirit wrapped his ass, and we're good. But I wasted 13 hours getting to that point.
I love Final Fantasy X too. Final Fantasy X was really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's just like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, leveling up your characters, you can literally get into a hole, and you have to.
If you follow that route, you would be good, but you wouldn't be able to beat Dark Aeon, because I never been able to beat Dark Aeon.
I love the land. I love the gardens. I love the system of the gardens and how that worked. Like I love Final Fantasy 8. I like how every limit break for the character was different, had a different mechanic.
Yeah.
I
love the music.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Nobuo Uematsu is stepping down as the full-time composer.
Yeah, he said I'm done, bro. He said it's too much.
Love that man.
How many years was he at? What is that, like 30 years or some shit?
More than 30 years, bro. Like,
yeah, like
40.
Brad spent damn near half a century.
His whole adult life, he been composing, basically.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did he say step down from being part of a game, period, or
he will no longer be a full-time composer? So he will.
Yeah, full-time.
He will compose titles here and there, but he's not gonna do a full soundtrack for a game any longer.
Yeah. But he can do a half a soundtrack and someone else does the other
I
half.
doubt he'll do half a soundtrack. I'm sure he'll do like 10 tracks. Like
Yeah, something like that. But
yeah, it'll
in
be very
any case,
limited.
especially with this Rebirth one having 400 new tracks.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. That is a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of Rebirth, the improvement, the new game mini game. The one that I'm dreading now is the music one. Apparently, you need to get real good if you want to get the platinum.
oh
The
yeah. Well, might
it
just be
makes
a
me
platinum you
question.
gotta miss, Omar. Might just be a platinum you
Mm-hmm.
gotta miss. Because that,
Mm-hmm.
that that music shit is hard. I think the highest I got is a B. I haven't gotten an A yet. I got close to an A, but I think the highest I got was
I
a B.
haven't touched it yet. I have seen people that I literally seen people that the highest that I've
Appreciate
gotten
you,
was an
Yobi. Have a
A.
good one. Yeah,
And so to me, I'm like, if why lock it behind? Why put the trophy? Have people may be fun and enjoying it, but don't put a trophy behind it. Let make it a B or a C.
man. I mean, Final
Make it
Fantasy VII
fair.
remake, the platinum was a grind. I wasn't expecting anything different in
Now
remake.
that this easy. Now the gym one was passable.
No, it's a grind to get the platinum in remake and in integrate. Like to do top secrets. That's part of
Yeah,
it.
I gave up on that one. Too many games to play. I'm not gonna waste my time with
Yeah, to forget the dresses, top secrets is tough.
To me, the top secret is tough for being tough. He is avoiding my damage all the time.
Well, one
Like
is the
it,
Bahamut. It's the Bahamut instant death thing that's kind of makes it tough. It's the fact
that's
that
also.
after Bahamut instant deaths you, you do a workaround to survive that. That Ifrit comes into the fight, and then it's also that you fight like what I think 3 summons before that, and you're not
Mm-hmm.
able to customize your materia build to take out
Mm-hmm.
each particular monster. And then even
Yeah.
after you beat Bahamut, you got to beat Pride and Joy, which is Shimra's like toughest prototype. And
Mm-hmm.
Pride and Joy isn't extremely hard. Like it's easy if you know what you're doing, but he does a lot of damage.
I'm
Um,
talking about the other dude,
you
the
talking about
one with the
Whis?
sword. Yeah.
Whis isn't hard. Whis is
Eh,
you just gotta master counter stance and switch into Punisher mode when he's about to attack you. It's like you can't attack him. Everything has to be counter based. You could beat him.
mm,
He's not extremely difficult because once you get the
okay.
counter, you can pressure him. But you gotta counter stance him a lot.
I don't. I am. For some reason, I never played with counter with remake.
Counter stance is probably like one of Cloud's most OP abilities.
Uh,
Like
I
you just wait, you just get your ATB bar filled up, and you just see like when they're about to attack you, and you turn on counter stance, and you do like hella crit
uh,
damage, and then you
I
like
went
instant
always
pressure.
full hand.
Yeah,
Like that's how I beat Sephiroth. But going back to it, I can't stress this enough. This game is gonna eat my life, and I already have free time on my hand. But still, this game is gonna eat my life.
so
Cause
do you think that
yeah,
it has the chance to be the best installment of a Final Fantasy we've ever seen?
um, it's unfair because
Oh,
the
my bad,
10,
Yobi, my bad. Thought you were saying peace out.
10 is always gonna be my favorite when it comes to not per se nostalgia, but like what happened to it. But I do believe Rebirth is gonna be the best Final Fantasy because for me that's remake right now. And after remake became integrate, I actually enjoyed integrate more than remake, mostly because Yuffie was such a bae. The Yuffie that was a cool character, and the addition of Xenon uh, did something to me. I
Yeah,
found it,
I like their synergy combat.
yeah, and every people that I kept hearing about is that integrate looking like a Rebirth remake is looking like a tech demo compared to Rebirth.
I mean, I can kind of see that because the environments were kind of limited in remake.
Nah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when it comes to the gameplay aspect.
I mean,
Apparently,
I played the demo. The combat is improved in some ways. But it's not. I don't think it's this like. I don't think it's this major leap. Not for me. Me beating remake and integrate
but
like
did you
2 weeks
play with
ago.
Catsis?
I'm sorry.
Did you play with Catsis?
He wasn't available in the demo.
Apparently, he played fun.
I'm sure they do. I mean, I played as Red 13. I fought as him. I fought as Tifa and Cloud and Barrett. I think the only one I didn't play as is who else is in the party at the party
Barrett?
Junon? I don't think I played as Yuffie. No, Yuffie isn't there in the Junon DLC, is she? I just know who I played with. I
I
can't
haven't
remember.
touched that good demo, actually. But yeah, going back to it,
I didn't even complete the Junon portion. I just kind of ran around in the Junon wilderness area and just kind of fought.
I didn't touch the demo for some reason. My brain wouldn't touch the demo.
Oh, I don't mind doing the Nibelheim flashback again because I've done it in Crisis Core. I've done it a couple of different times.
3 days for Rebirth. I can't wait.
Yeah.
This is absolutely gonna eat my life.
Well,
I'm super.
Oh yeah, I'm always gonna play it in English because
English?
the voiceovers are really good. So
I play it always with Japanese.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
All right. And Nappy, do you think this installment has the potential to be the best Final Fantasy in the series?
For after, because I'll look at based off of what I've seen in the previews for the second one and what I think about the first one. This is so far have been the most successful modern spin for the Final Fantasy franchise. I mean, the combat is extremely engaging, and I noticed that like, well, I only played Final Fantasy 15. I haven't played 16, so like Final Fantasy 15, even though it had a very integrated like a combat system, a lot of people realized they could just hold a button and attack all day, and that kind of like breaks the engagement. Where Final Fantasy 7 remake was able to keep engagement and gameplays wise, and had a really great story with a little modern twist to it. So yeah, I think it's going to live up to potentials. We'll just have to see when the game comes out. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. And hopefully, I can get on PC sooner rather than later. Let's see what this. Hey man, you want money? I mean, PlayStation, you hurting for $10 billion. I mean, PC market, we can get that $10 billion back for you in like 2 days.
No, that's a Square Enix game. It's not a Sony game. So nothing about Final Fantasy Rebirth sales will help out.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They have a really close relationship with Square Enix.
Yeah.
Hey Sony, we tried. Give us Bloodborne. But yeah, I think Final Fantasy. I think it seems like it's doing well. I'm kind of excited to see, just to watch the scenes, because I want to see like what changes they made to the story compared to the old one. Because we already know Sephiroth has done time travel, and it can either go good or bad. If they introduce multiverse, I'm gonna be a little scared because the multiverse is overplayed.
Yeah, I do want to see Zack and Sephiroth's interactions, because I do know they have interactions in the game. I want to see Zack and
Are we allowed to speak
interactions.
about?
I just want to see those interactions that Zack is gonna have in this game.
Are we allowed to talk about the original spoilers or original storyline?
I try not to say anything, but
I don't want to talk about anything in the original storyline that is a key plot point. So you can talk about anything. You can talk about anything in the storyline except Nanaki at Cosmo Canyon, Aerith at the Temple of the Ancients, and nothing regarding the black materia. I think if you avoid that, I think we're pretty good.
I think I just better be quiet. I'm curious about I'm curious about what interactions and how is the story going to be presented for the modern audience.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm looking for.
The one thing that is going to be the most interesting to see how they handle is the grip that Sephiroth had on Cloud in the original of OG compared to Rebirth, because Cloud had some very violent moments with his party members due to Sephiroth controlling him.
Yes, yeah.
Some that would probably ruffle today's feathers. With some of the stuff that he did towards his party members violently due to Sephiroth controlling him. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle that. Like, do they kind of like retcon that?
I wonder if there's going to be like 2 Sephiroths now.
I think there's already 2 Sephiroths based on what they said during, like developer notes during remake. They've already confirmed that there's multiple Sephiroths.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the original story had multiple Sephiroths in a way.
No, but they said that was different.
Oh, so this is like 2 true Sephiroths.
Yeah.
Is going to be pulling on the strings, and the other Sephiroth is going to. I can't even. One Sephiroth is going to play the story exactly as it is. The other Sephiroth is going to fuck around.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe that's what I could predict. If they really do have like multiple true Sephiroths.
The one thing that I will say that I do think they will kind of confirm that Final Fantasy is more of a sequel than a remake or a reimagining. I think that'll kind of be confirmed in this one way or another.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to teach the for a new audience about the live stream. I think we're going to get a lot more details about this about the live stream.
I don't think it's a multiverse. I think it may be a multiverse, but I think it's more of a like a concurrent stream in time that Sephiroth
live streams literally
that Sephiroth is transversing through. That's what I think.
This so basically it's like a single river going one direction, and Sephiroth is like swimming against the currents.
Yeah, because like one of the battles, it was called Singularity. So I think it's one single timeline. It's just he's just navigating through it. Personally,
I mean, hey, let's see how Square Enix handle this, because as you see, people are starting getting tired of the multiverse.
But I do think when he sliced open that extra dimension, I do think that did open a multiverse based on the trailer that we saw at the summer game show, where like everyone like Tifa, Barrett, and them were all getting like rolled out on the stretcher. So I do think, and then he had Cloud on his shoulder, and he dragged him into Midgar and gave him the Kyrie. So I do think there's like 2 Clouds, and I think there's 1 Zack.
2 Clouds, that's 3 Buster Swords, man.
No, there's only 2 Buster Swords. There's 2 Clouds, 1 Zack, and I think possibly in the timeline that Sephiroth opened up, that Tifa, Barrett, and them died. So
2 Clouds, 1 Zack, 2 Sephiroths. Man, this is gonna be messy.
Yeah, it can be messy, but
that just sounds messy to me now. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing?
I think that is a possibility. Like, you gotta let your mind wander a little bit. But I'm just hoping for like a clean story. Like I hope that 2 Clouds and the whole Zack thing doesn't muddy it up so much that we get to the end and we're like, what the hell's going on?
I'm just happy to see Zach more. Zach, I'm honest, and I'm kind of curious. I would love to see like a double like Buster Store combat, and
technically, even if there are two clouds, the cloud that Zach has will never break out of Mako poisoning if Tifa is dead.
Yeah.
In his timeline, she'll never break out of it. He'll never break out of Mako poisoning. Because he only broke out of Mako poisoning when Zach died and when he met Tifa. So
yeah.
So I don't think that. But with that said, we're done with this topic. Legendary Yobi, he does have a question for the panel, and his question is in regards to Akira Toriyama, and says, why won't he get a team together and have them do a Dragon Ball Super, and have them focus on other universes that were introduced in the Tournament of Power? This sounds like it's right up Jubei's alley. He's a big
Repeat
DBZ
the
guy.
question.
Yeah, he was saying, you know, I mean, I do think it would also be extremely interesting for to kind of dive into those other universes from the Tournament of Power. I would love for there to be a universe where, you know, Planet Vegeta was still around, and we gotta kind of interact
Universe
with,
6.
yeah.
The only way to do so is by having a universe where
Vegeta isn't around in Universe 6. It's Planet Salata or some shit.
Yeah,
but I'm about to say, we kind of got the references between like who played the Vegeta in that universe.
But
I
still would love to go to a planet that was like inhabited by nothing but Saiyans and just kind of get like a feel for it without Frieza calling everyone monkeys.
But we would never get.
Wait, do you read the mangas at all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you already know about.
I said it's more of Jubei's alley because I know Jubei's big on DBZ.
Okay, so you saw the recent chapter about you know, Gohan and Goku and Goku figuring out they basically made the movie canon.
Yeah, I mean they that was always the plan with Super. Every movie's canon.
Yeah, yes. Well, how Trump is the Gohan movie?
Yeah, so the Gohan movie is canon, and they actually
it's canon. Like they when they were announcing the Super movie, they said every movie is canon.
How strong is he?
How strong is he?
Yeah,
very strong.
UI strong.
Is he on Goku and Vegeta level?
He's on UI level. Yes.
Yes, actually, Vegeta's pissed off because he finally beat Goku. Just to realize that, damn, he's taking second place again, and he actually yelled at Trunks like, "Trunks, did you get a new transformation?" And Trunks is like, "Me and Goten, when we're together, we're unstoppable." And it's just they keep on fucking up their fusions. But then when they're fighting individually for the first time, they actually have some pretty decent, weird, flashy combo. They're like mini Saiyamans now.
I'm not gonna lie. I am a Goten stan. I want to see Goten grow up and be great. And
well, right now they're in their teen. They actually just got their growth spurts in the manga, so now they're in their teenage phases.
I'm a big Goten fan. With Toriyama. He has so many good characters. He just doesn't focus on them.
You guys do realize how old he is too, right?
Toriyama doesn't run the manga side.
No.
One of his artists.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the heyday, like Goten.
Jubei, Yobi wants to know where you get access to these mangas at.
The internet.
Yeah, it's honestly the best way is the internet. Because we can't expose certain things.
Well, I'll have Jubei.
I will have to get with you, and I can link you.
Yeah, we'll drop a link in the Discord.
Yeah, I got you, Yobi. I got you.
We'll drop a link in the Discord.
Next thing, Vitamin G is going to get that copyright strike.
We can't. You know,
I think it would fare better than what happened with the one at OP Scan. They got shut down.
Yeah,
but,
we will.
That said, we're gonna jump into our final topic of today. All right, and let's see what we got here. Put this in. Forgive me, people. Give me a second. So I can be a responsible Post. Timestamp, y'all. All right, so our final topic of the day is we've been getting rumors of new hardware on the way. So far, what we know is that Xbox is supposed to be releasing a new controller. I believe it's codenamed Brooklyn. And that's gonna I believe that is gonna give them feature parity with the DualSense controller.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be dropping later this year.
As they should.
And then we have the rumors of the PS5 Pro that's supposed to be launching in this holiday window. And the Switch 2 launching in March of 2025.
And the rumor of digital Switch.
The Switch 2025, right?
Not digital Switch. A digital Series X.
Yeah. All digital Series X is also rumored to be dropping this holiday. So I guess where I'm gonna take this is that this new hardware dropping, if it is indeed true, I'm guessing that this is gonna extend the generation by another. I think 2029 is the earliest we get new consoles. I think they probably get.
Well, here's the thing: the digital series is not going to. It's not going to move the needle. It's going to have the same insides.
Yeah, it's going to have all the exact same insides. I think the only upgrade is going to be to the
maybe the Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
Like,
the Wi-Fi is going to be upgraded. I think that's going to be the only
thing
major upgrade is the Wi-Fi.
So what happened is we got that information from the CMA hearing. Apparently, the next gen hardware, I believe, that's gonna be extended because of COVID.
Yeah, there's no way that that the PS5 Pro is coming out this year, and then they're gonna release a new console 3 years later. I just don't see that.
Yeah, it's gonna take way longer, especially if they want for new hardware and stuff. Especially also for the games that they're working on. Like we have had what 3 studios, maximum 5 studios releasing games on PlayStation 5. Like everyone else is working.
Yeah, I mean your whole
how are you gonna do that?
Your whole release cadence got completely sabotaged. That's been canceled is just unfortunate.
How you gonna release your next gen game hardware without a next gen game?
Well, that's the thing. All right, so if all of your studios that had their live service projects canceled are making new games as of right now, 2024, 2029 is the perfect time to release your PlayStation 6, hypothetically, because you'll be releasing the PlayStation 6 with a ton of launch titles versus because think about it, if they had to hit the reset button of all those live service games, it takes about 5 years to make a game. So if you started late 2023, early 2024, 5 years is right there when you would release your PlayStation 6. You would have a lot of launch titles. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think the live service games getting canceled necessarily killed or extended the life cycle per se. But I do think the PlayStation 5 Pro definitely extends the life cycle because you got to get some return on investment, on the R&D. Extends it too much. Doesn't. But I also think the Switch 2 extends this generation out a couple years longer because you can kind of make, games that kind of have like that content and feature parity.
What I read about the Switch 2 is apparently supposed to come out earlier, but they didn't release it because they wanted to make sure that they have enough
first party titles.
Launch titles. No, not that. Enough Switches to release.
yeah, I guess that can be a legitimate issue with these chips. Like acquiring chips is still a major struggle for these companies. They're still
And
having to purchase them at a premium.
Even with that said, don't forget, Xbox just worked out a deal with Intel for chips.
Yeah.
So Xbox or Microsoft?
Xbox.
Yeah.
Basically, what that is, what Jube's talking about is that for the next Xbox, Microsoft is gonna be making their own chip, and the chip that they are making is going to be manufactured by Intel. So so which is kind of unique because Microsoft has always been more of a software company than a hardware company. I think it would make more sense if Sony made that type of deal, but what I have pretty much purchased, like, we control you, but we don't control you stake in OpenAI and another AI company that's based out of France. So they pretty much like have a controlling interest in these two AI companies, because realistically, with as much money as they invested into them, if they were to pull that money out, it would be very detrimental to those companies. So while they don't have a say, they have a say. But they're going to be using the technology and making I think is, from what my understanding is, the next Xbox is going to have a dual chip system, and it's going to have a dedicated AI chip. And that AI chip will do all types of rendering and all types of other shit. So that's kind of what it's for.
We're probably seeing a new Xbox in 2027. I don't think it's going to make it to 2029.
I think the new Xbox that you see in 2027 will be the dockable handheld, but it won't be the I don't think it'll be the under the TV console. I think the next generation console that we're familiar with will drop in 2029. So I think
they have to put something out to compete with the Pro, bro. They have to. They have to respond. They're not going to do their own Pro console, but there's going to be a console.
So they're not going to make their. I mean, all right. So it's 2024 right now, right? They're not going to develop a chip and get it mass produced in 2 years, to the point where they can release a console in 3 years. That's just not going to happen.
I mean, think about it. Last year that Samsung announced GDDR7. I don't think it's going to come in this generation, because that GDDR6 to GDDR7 is a huge leap. Yeah. If they made a Pro version, it's probably going to still use that GDDR6 memory. With that alone, I think this is probably going to be another 4 or 5 years. Because heck, even graphics cards haven't came out with the new GDDR7 modules yet.
Yeah,
we just know that they exist.
I mean, I get what you're saying, that you want Xbox. You feel like they need to respond to a PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't think that's I don't think that's their priority. I think their priority right now is content. As far as this generation is concerned, I think they're securing as much content as they can for the next generation right now. For them, it's a content war. It's not a hardware war anymore. They want to own as much content as possible. I can see them purchasing 1, maybe 2 more publishers. Maybe features. I can see that happening for sure, because I think they're all about content right now. Because I think once they get all the content, then that's when the marketing of Game Pass is going to go through the roof, and they'll worry about distribution and what platforms games go to, as they acquire more stuff. But I don't see a new generation of Xbox till like 2029, outside of what is it? That handheld, if they do a handheld. Oh, what are we looking at here, Nappy?
One of the new controllers that's coming out for our Xbox, the Victrix Pro BFG wireless controller. This is the module controller.
Actually quite disgusted that you don't have dark mode. My eyes are like just Burning.
My fault.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, so this is actually the newest controller, releasing on March 30th, 2024. This is the very same controller, basically, of the Victrix Pro PFG for the PlayStation 5, 4, and PC, which I got in my hand right now.
That D-pad looks
It's actually really good. Yeah, so the cool thing about this controller is that the sticks are modular, so you could flip them. So you can have an Xbox layout or a PlayStation layout. But that's one of the,
I do see that. Yeah, I can see that now that I'm actually paying attention. Yeah, you can flip this. You can flip the joystick and the D-pad.
Yep.
Okay.
So right now I have my flips as a PlayStation layout, but I can easily flip this to be with the Xbox layout. So that's the controller that's coming out for that's the controller that's coming out for Xbox. That is
all right. So
people are really excited for.
Yobi asked the important question: does it come in black?
Actually, let's see.
It does come in black. It does come in black.
Yobi. Wait.
I see colors. I see colors. There you go.
Wait, yes, it does. There's a black version.
Yeah, it comes in black.
There you go. There's your black version.
Does it have Hall effect joysticks?
No, but there is actually modules that you can replace these with.
Mm-hmm.
You can replace these with Hall effect modules yourself, and it's extremely easy to do.
Okay.
So as you see, basically, and it comes with the little fighter buttons right here too. 2 different G pads and stuff. Like it's really nice. I like it.
Okay.
I like the original one. So 4 programmable back buttons. So yeah, I'm surprised it came in black. I thought it only came in white.
If it's made for the Xbox, it gotta come in black. It got to.
Yeah, because the PlayStation one is black. So I thought this one was white. I was like, okay, well, they want to separate the two, but no.
If it's for Xbox, they gotta have it black. Because the console's black. Gotta have something that matches the console.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, this is your so congratulations, Xbox players. You guys are getting a module controller that you can flip the sticks on and fighter packs.
This connects wirelessly to the Xbox. You don't need it's not a wire.
You do need a dongle. It does uses the dongle, but it is wireless.
Okay. I mean, as long as it's wireless, the dongle,
So yeah, there you go. And also you can replace this module with a fighter pack too, for all you people that love fighter games, and you get like 3 different D-pads. Okay. You can even turn that you can get that little octagon thing ring around your joysticks if you want that for precision 100%. So it's a pretty decent deal for $180. Like I said, I got the PlayStation one because it works on it has native X input PC support. Love it.
I guess this does kind of fall into new hardware, so you're on top of
this. This is one of the new hardwares that's releasing for Xbox. There's also another hidden project that hasn't come out fully yet, but it's actually even more module than this. Like it's actually like they have the controllers in cubes and you put it together. I got to get more information on that, but if I do, I'll let you guys know. So, but also, if I was to give my quick take on the hardwares for the next generation console, the Pro versions, like I said, I do
Pro version.
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 Pro, I highly doubt it's going to have GDDR7 chips inside of it for the RAM, which is probably like the biggest leap we've seen so far. AMD has been doing some things, but nothing that has been revolutionary as of yet. And on the same with the Intel side, so I think then that they're probably going to find a way to squeeze more power out of the existing chips and make them clock them a little bit higher, but it's not going to be nothing crazy. Like I said, because even the PC side, we haven't even got new chip technology yet. And the newest chip technology that everyone's waiting for is the GDDR7 RAM for graphics cards, and we don't even have that yet.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Someone like PlayStation and Sony, wouldn't they have access to more information to what you have?
And for someone who is
or if they like work there.
I'm talking like if I am doing business with you, and there are information that you haven't revealed to the public yet, wouldn't they know more about it then?
Yeah, like if you like work at
if
you work at like Walmart or Target or any type of distribution, like there has to be units
NDA.
moved. Yeah, there has to be like units
Yeah,
moved,
and
so you would know months in advance that. Plus, you got to clear shelves to hold the items and things like that. So you would know months in advance that a PlayStation 6 was coming out or a Nintendo Switch, because you have to account for all of that.
Yeah, and usually the higher up managers would know, but they won't tell their lower employees until like the week of. So unless they're terrible managers and they just open their mouth to everybody, but then you actually could lose your job easily.
But I'm talking like, for example, with the creation of PlayStation 5 Pro, we don't know what they're targeting, right? Like there's zero information what they're using chip wise.
No, specs are leaked. If you're really interested in
no, I say it's not. I get what he's saying. It's not confirmed because the only confirmed hardware that we do see is that the Nintendo is now taking one of Nvidia's mobile chips, the newer mobile chips. I will have to pull up that information. But yes, there is a new system that Nintendo is working on, and it's taking advantage of one of Nvidia's newer mobile chips that is much better than this Tegra chip. Thank God.
They want to get rid of those variable clock speeds, and they want to be able to get the PS5 Pro to run more games at 60 frames per second. Like they really want Grand Theft Auto 6 to be able to run at 60.
I mean, I'm just curious to see, like, because like I said, we haven't had much evolution in chips, so maybe they may have gotten efficiency better with AMD's chips. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm curious to see. Maybe more power efficiency, or maybe they draw more power and they're able to have a better cooling system.
They'll probably have an upgraded chip for the Pro model. It's gonna be
because
there's gonna be some upgrades.
Because that's what I'm saying. I'm curious to see like what the upgrades are as physical hardware wise, because we've been kind of stagnant. Chip, like as far as like lease and like technology and chips, it's been pretty stagnant on like hardware console size. The mobile chips are starting to become a lot more powerful, but like consoles and computer parts.
I think console wise, I think just the GPUs and all that are just getting way too expensive to mass produce consoles.
Well, they're using APUs now. They're using APUs is the biggest thing, and AMD is killing it with the APU market, which I can see what they could take from the AMD market as far as the APUs and make it run better. I'm just curious to see like what technology they're going to use and how they're going to tweak it. I think for a console to squeeze more power out of it.
Yeah,
because RDNA 2 is a well-known soft platform that all AMD people know and PC gamers know as well.
I don't think you're going to get a big leap out of these APUs in the next generation. I think it's all the Pro versions. I think it's all going to be about this AI thing. I think it's an AI race right now. All these companies are investing so much into AI. Even Sony's investing a lot into AI. We don't hear about it as much because they're not necessarily like this tech giant. They're more in the entertainment space more than they are in the technology space now. But even they're highly invested into AI. So I think that's where we're gonna see. I think that's gonna like augment like this APU advancement. But I don't think we're gonna see another big graphical leap or another on consoles. I don't think we're gonna see another big graphical leap for maybe another decade.
I don't even think you guys are gonna get a graphical leap. I think what they're trying to aim, I think what the Pro models are gonna aim for is more FPS.
Yeah,
they promise you guys more FPS. Yeah, you guys haven't given it.
Pro model is more FPS, but I'm saying even when like the PlayStation 6 and this new Xbox comes out, I'm not expecting this giant graphical leap. Because like, think about it. They did a tech demo on that damn Lumen engine with UE5, and we've yet to get a game that looks like what they tech demoed us on the Lumen engine. I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna get anything that looks like that when the PlayStation 6 or whatever this next Xbox comes out. I don't think we're getting that. Me personally.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about that tech demo for which one? The Final Fantasy Square Enix one?
No, the UE5 demo on they called it Lumen, where the
Oh,
girl like
so
where
that's
she's like
the
flying
light
around.
effect.
Yeah, when she's like flying
yeah.
around doing
So
all that
We've
shit.
seen that
yeah, so
gameplay. Just
I could
not sure.
Oh no, I could talk about Nvidia. That was in one of Nvidia's showcases because what they're doing is because Nvidia is like they were ones that created ray tracing to begin with, and everyone's trying to imitate them. So they're with Nvidia actually technically still has the number one AI across the tech industry. Hence, if you actually pay attention to the stock markets, their shares went up like drastically.
Yeah.
Because of their last press conference. They're taking their
Man,
CUDA, they're taking their CUDA cores and making it work with ray tracing. So basically, it's trying to figure the best way. It's kind of like so basically your game's going to play at a lower resolution and upscales it, and that includes with the ray tracing. That's why I like the 4000 series, even though they're not really on spec wise, they're not more powerful. They're kind of not much of a leap from the 3000 series. When they start putting in that frame generation, all that stuff, that's where you start seeing the big giant performance leaps. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how that's going to transfer it over to consoles because you guys use AMD to begin with. AMD uses Fidelity, and their ray tracing is not that good. If Xbox going to Intel is their Arc GPUs, they're a lot better than what they used to be, but that will honestly be a step back for I can see that being a step back for Xbox because graphics wise,
well, they're making their own.
Intel's still behind the ball.
Intel's just manufacturing it.
I got to see we got to see more specs about the chip then, because basically
a manufacturing deal. It's not a we want Intel to make our chips.
Intel can't build NVIDIA chips though. I mean, can Intel really build AMD chips and APUs?
I don't know. I just know that Microsoft is interested in making their own chip. Like I could pull an article up and kind of read it.
I'm gonna say because right now the chip, as far as chip manufacturers, AMD for CPUs, GPUs, NVIDIA is right now for GPUs, mobile GPUs, and some other mobile chips. Intel is across the market as far as CPUs. They do have integrated GPUs in some of their chips, but they were nowhere near as powerful as AMD's, which is why I understand why consoles go with the AMD chips. So for them to go with Intel, I would actually be a little concerned because Intel has yet to show technology that can rival AMD's APUs.
I'm not gonna read the whole article, but I'll
that's
just kind of go through.
Though, what if Intel is hiding that technology? Nobody knows about it. Only now Microsoft.
I'm gonna just read the. First
so the best way to make predictions is honestly if you pay attention to their press conferences and look at their shares.
I wrote a whole paper on why people should be buying into GPU stocks like 4 years ago when I was at college.
Yeah, well, if you look at Nvidia shares, you're going to be shocked at what just happened the past week.
I'm not.
To be.
I predicted it. I wrote papers on
it. Because Nvidia, they had the number one AI that was used for video games. Now they put that same AI and GPUs in the Teslas, and they're putting it in everything else. They're trying to render Earth.
Dang.
Literally, they are rendering Earth right now. They got a BMW factory strictly run by their AI, Nvidia's AI right now.
But
that's somewhere in Germany. Like,
so here's the article. Microsoft and Intel strike a custom chip deal that could be worth billions. Intel will be producing custom chips designed by Microsoft for Microsoft. As part of the deal, Intel says is worth more than $15 billion. Intel announced partnership during its Intel Foundry event today. Although neither company specified what the chips will be used for, Bloomberg noted today that Microsoft has been planning in-house designs for both processors and AI accelerators. Not going any further than that. That's just kind of the synopsis.
No. Interesting. Like I said, I'm actually
not going to be. The thing is, it's not going to be an Intel and it's not going to be an AMD. It's going to be like a custom solution. Like we're going back to the 360
It's a Microsoft chip. They're making
We're going
it,
back to the 360 days of the Power PC when it was like there was nothing like it on the market.
I'm curious. I got curious to see this technology then, because right now, as far as APU wise, is like it makes sense why Sony and Microsoft went with AMD chips with the APU RDNA 2s. It makes a lot of sense.
In this deal with Intel, it doesn't even sound like Intel is being consulted on the design of the chip. It's just like we make the chip, you produce it.
You just produce it. So yeah. I will have to see what this chip is or see any hints of it. We don't. Like I said, current technology in the market, as far as graphics, NVIDIA takes the lead on that. As far as most powerful single core, that goes to actually multi-core goes to AMD. Single core goes to Intel.
Yeah.
So like I said, I would need to hear more information about it.
Yeah.
And Samsung is the one that makes all of the RAM for all the stuff. For phones and consoles and computers and stuff, and the GDDR7.
Samsung owns Snapdragon technology now. Don't they own Qualcomm?
Well, yeah, but then also remember Samsung got attacked by no, it wasn't Samsung, it was AT&T. But actually, no, the FTC was looking at Samsung. They're like, yeah, they did attack Samsung because they had a monopoly on the RAM, like the actual RAM sticks, like all RAM for all devices was being produced by Samsung. And FTC was like, no, you guys have a crazy monopoly.
Yeah, I thought they bought them.
So yeah, FTC did go after Samsung for that. So I'm curious about the new GDDR7 that's supposed to be for the next generation of graphics cards. So I want to see how that uplifts them as far as performance. So like I said, that's the only new technology that I know is like brand new. So
I think we had enough nerd talk on the hardware. We have some other contributions from Omar and Jubei that they want to make. Going once, going twice.
No,
we are
again,
going to
all I
outros.
said, very quick. All I'm gonna say is the thing is we don't know what the companies do know. The information that they have, we don't have. And I'm all in for surprises.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say I'm not a fan of pro consoles coming out this year. By PlayStation. And I mean, Xbox Digital kind of.
Xbox is not releasing a pro.
I don't think Xbox Digital is necessary.
It's because the Series X is already the fucking pro, bro.
I think Series X is more powerful. It's technically spec wise, it's more powerful than the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm saying like, all right, so Xbox coming out with an all digital version, I don't necessarily mind it, because it's not like a pro. I really don't think you need a pro this generation because I don't think that these consoles have really been tapped to their potential to this point. And I think the all digital design is just cutting costs, so you don't have to, pay however much it costs to put a disk drive in these consoles.
Gonna be $450.
I mean, I'm getting one. So
how many Xboxes are you going to get?
However many they make.
Don't matter.
However
I bought the Slim PlayStation. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
He is Captain Xbox. He is Captain Hardware. He has an Xbox keyboard.
I do.
Yeah. Serious? So I wonder if that's going to come with a monthly plan, because currently the monthly plan for the Xbox Series X for 24 months will be $36.99 a month. So it went up a little bit.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah. The payment plan went up because of the Game Pass subscription. It went up in price, so the monthly
it went up by $2.
All right, so let's hit these outros real quick. Hold on.
What's like?
And let's see. Yobi loved your controller that you showed. He said he's definitely picking that shit up. And
that's nice to hear.
And he would love to see that controller be brought to the Xbox Design Lab. So yeah, your controller drew a lot of rave reviews from the legendary Yobi. Appreciate that.
Appreciate.
So why don't you give your outro and let him know where he can go and get a fabulous review of controls of that nature.
All right. So like I said, it's a pleasure going on here talking all about gaming news. If you guys want to find me, you can find me on Twitter, just reading about people's reviews and instigating arguments just for the shits and giggles on Twitter. I do controller reviews on YouTube, and I'm actually getting back into the swing of things. I had to redo this controller review because of this is a GameSir G7 SE for the Xbox. This is a controller with the Hall effect joysticks that had overclocking software that was presented like down a couple months down the line. But after doing some research, I realized that there was some issues with the overclocking software. Where you overclock this controller, it can possibly break your controller, which is a no-go. So overclock at your own risk. So I had to kind of like change up my review and just let people know about that. As far as other controllers, I'm actually probably gonna do all of the 8-bit Do controllers because I have, as far as the Ultimate series, I have all of the Ultimate controllers. I even got this like limited edition one sent to me, so I'm like, you know what? Let me do all the 8-bit Do Ultimate controllers because they vast across a couple of different consoles for PC, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, and I think they're a good company. I got so many more controllers. So yeah, just when you get a chance, come to Happy Century. Just look at some controller reviews. If you want to see the PlayStation version of the that PPG fixture controller, that's also on my YouTube channel. So it's pretty much the Xbox version is pretty much the PlayStation version. It's their exact same controller. It's just one's for Xbox, one's for PlayStation. So if you want to have a better idea of that controller and the software, you should definitely go on my channel and check out the PlayStation BFG controller review I did for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Omar, where can people find you?
People can find me at Carbon Shop on Twitter and Other Player Podcast every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. For the most part. This week, however, no podcast, mostly because Rebirth happening. We're gonna play tons of Rebirth and leave it at that. Unless something very big happens. If that's the case, then I will put that in the very quick shout out for Yubi. He's the one that retweeting or rather tweeting out that we're going live. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that a lot, Yobi. And last but not least, the looks like the distressed Cowboys fan Jube. Where can people find you?
Oh, you mean the depressed Cowboys fan? Yeah, we depressed out here, bro. I need Zoloft bad. Yeah, you can find me at Jube X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jube Sensei everywhere else. I am actually currently playing Final Fantasy 14 right now.
Oh, you got that free beta?
Yeah, I'm in there.
All right.
I don't like games like this because I get addicted, and yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, I've never done an MMO, and I think I'll stay away from that.
It's like the WoW crack, man. Once you're in there, you're in there.
I don't know. I don't got the time for it anymore.
I do appreciate the fetch quests that are in here, though. They're not like super tedious. So,
no.
Oh, we're good.
All right. And with that said, you can find your boy Pharaoh at the Land of Pharaoh. You can find us. You can find the Vitamin G podcast if you want to listen to the audio version. Pretty much anywhere that you like to listen to podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple. If they're big, we're there. And with that said, thank you for coming through and getting your weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out. Peace.